doing that. You're doing that.
Micah, it's okay, buddy. What's good? What's good? Welcome in. Welcome in. I'm trying to get things figured out a little different. For the stream here. Just give me a minute. I'm trying to see if everything's gonna go as planned with it. I'm trying to figure out how to stream it a little bit differently. So let me know if you're in here and if you can hear me and everything clearly. I'm trying to see. I'm doing it a completely different way than I have. And I don't know if it works or not. Hopefully it does. Hopefully it does work, but I'm trying to find out now if that's the case. See, like, it ain't showing me. I think it's gonna work that time. I just had to refresh it. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out. What up, James? What's good? Noah, if you're here, what's up? Mute. Next, hear me over here. Cross that out. Should be good now. Shouldn't have echo. Need to get the audio in my ear. What's good, James? You hear me just fine? No echo or anything? You can hear me just fine? All right. I'm going to try to pull up some of the Portland protest here as well. Things are quieter, but they've gotten a little stranger from what I've seen in the Portland protest. From everything that I've seen, anyway. And I tried to do this in a vertical stream, so I don't know if it puts me in the YouTube Shorts algorithm or not. I think it will put me in the YouTube Shorts. I don't know. I'm kind of hoping that it does, but I don't know if it is. Trying to pull up. Let me see. Portland, Angie. He's not currently live. He also may not be there yet because this is 7:30 and over there that makes it 4:30, so still very early for the West Coast. Tommy ain't live. All right, so trying to pull it up.
I just did a glitch. It's adorable. Expert in first aid and CPR. Anything you can do with you? You can never be too secure.
Sometimes you got to close it down and reopen it. All right, Micah, calm down, buddy. Tabs. I'm trying to pull them all up here. See if I can't pull up any of the protesters. But I need to find Chicago because they're a little more closer to our time zone right now. Maybe they'll have something more going on over there. Kind of waiting for people to pull into the lobby a little bit here. Right now we've got you, James, and maybe it's just me on the other one over there, but I'm not sure if that's somebody else or just you. It might be my stream, but I don't think it counts my stream. Let me see it, Micah. Say what? Adorable? What's that? Assistant adorable? This tablet probably needs restarted. What up, Noah? What's good? Nemo better show up. Supposedly, I've got a text from Shroom as well saying JDK and CMX are going to come in here and try to mess with the stream. He sent me screenshots of them trying to conspire. I don't know if they're going to show up in here or not, though, because they said the Royal Rawls Cowboy channel. So I don't know if they'll be over here or not. All right. Well, that one's restarted. Waiting. Chill out, bub. Trying to get this all together here, guys. Trying to get it together. I'm trying to see if anything's going on with the Chicago protest. In the ICE building right now. It's where a lot of people have lived, brother. I don't see any of them live currently right now, as I'm looking through the accounts that I've seen before that do go live numerous nights. I can show some of the videos that he shows here that show what's been going on in these protests. We could probably do that. I don't know what side. I don't, for Chicago wise, I don't know what side or anything that they stand on. But he's also got Mega Cold Leader, Maine, Human Read, Dilemma. Micah, I'm trying to get it. Chill out. Calm down.
Where the heck is my charger? Where the heck is it?
Hey, why are you not paying attention?
Hey!
That's my charger.
All right. You better show up because he's the one that said you better go live today. Nemo's telling you better go live, and he didn't even show up. Nemo's sending me dumb pictures. I told him I'm going. Nemo sent me a picture. He said, "Do you not like it?" I said, "Only thing I said to him, I said, I'm gonna report it. How about that? Hey, I'm gonna report it. Take screenshots of my face and the drawing on them."
Yeah, it's mine. It's mine. I know it's mine.
Okay, cool. Get this. Oh yeah, that's was gonna type in.
How does he stay with that on his hair? Like it makes him sweat. How does he stay with that on his hair?
Oh, I don't know.
It just makes him sweat a lot. How does he?
Or maybe YouTube Kids is down. I don't know. Is it loading on that one? That one's slower. That's the only downside to the red one. Is it working? All right, cool. I was trying to wait for people to pull in there. There's Nemo. Messi's been in here. He waiting for your ass, Nemo. He's already number 2 on the billboard. Yeah, you probably have to put it up on normal YouTube. YouTube Kids might be down. So yeah, I was hoping some of y'all would pull in here. Waiting for it. Waiting for it. Get a few people in here, and then we can go ahead and start talking about some of this shit. Can you talk without being whiny? I mean, YouTube's letting me use. I'm able to use YouTube on my computer just fine. And on my phone, I'm having no issues with YouTube that I can see. Y'all having any issues y'all can see? Reported there ain't no sensitive channel. There also ain't time for dumb shit. YouTube's working on all of my devices. So it's not YouTube. I got people in here that are in a live stream with me right now that can see me, right? Y'all can see me, right? Y'all hear me? Y'all see me? No issue with the broadcast. I think it's just YouTube Kids. I think it's the kids division. I'm going to try to pull that up on his phone, though, and see. Instead of the tablets. Because I know you don't got YouTube Kids downloaded on your stuff. Or maybe it's Assistant. Yeah, but we said on YouTube. YouTube works. Let's see if this pulls up. Nope. I think it's try something different on because everything else seems to work. It's loading.
It'll work for a minute and then it'll go down.
It's got to be YouTube Kids is down then. Yeah, shut your mouth, Messi. I ban all of ya. What you talking about? It seems like people are trying to tap in now. Got a few people in here. What's good, everyone? What's good? Y'all want me to show some of the activity that's going on in like the Chicago or the Portland protest? Or what do y'all wanting tonight's topic to be about? We can do multiple different things. Yeah, we tried that. We tried that reported. I think YouTube Kids is down. It'll let you bring a video up, but then it won't play it. And it's any video I try to go on YouTube Kids, which is weird though, because the main page for the videos will load up, like the scroll main page, or the feed. But then when you click a video, it just won't play on 3 different devices. Your YouTube was tripping. Well, I mean, I haven't had any issues with YouTube. When I first put the stream on, I will say that at first it acted like it wasn't there. I hit refresh and it came right on though, so I don't know. But yeah. I'll say what I was listening to prior to the live stream was Officer Tatum going off on a lot of people making different allegations based on the Charlie Kirk case. and he's just going off on different ones. He's going. The videos that he's pulling up though, I haven't seen any of those. They're not people I would watch to be investigating their own version of the Charlie Kirk murder. Like I'm watching different people that are actually doing some type of due diligence. maybe. And I don't even think it's necessarily all of them. I think it's more Zionists, honestly, or the IDF. The people themselves, they pretty much don't have any control. I think it's what's that? PACA, the Zionists, the IDF. I agree. Reported. I agree. I think he's overlooking and over trusting too much. I think he, just like the FBI, just wants this case to be over. I think they're trying to rush it because I think the more evidence that comes out that is factual evidence that people are presenting with video and documented evidence, I think it's poking holes in the case that they would have against Tyler Robinson. I think that case that they have against Tyler Robinson is very, very weak. And it's a lot of substantial stuff. And they've had holes in the story from the FBI from the beginning. There's no way it's a 30-yard save. And then there's other items that have popped away. And then then they lock up. I think Tyler and the old man are both, like, honestly, I think they're both a patsy for a bigger plot. But yeah, I don't think either of them are shooters. It's weird though that the old man has been tracked back to like multiple other events where tragedies have happened, including 9/11. But I think they got him off the streets and Tyler Robinson off the streets so that they can't be asked questions, so that nobody can talk to them. Honestly, because what they say may not line up with what the FBI say. I mean, in a sense, you're going on some Illuminati shit right there, though, Noah. But yeah, I can pull up some videos. Like, I can pull up this video of Officer Tatum and who he's showing. But hi James, you cool? I think I got a better I can't think of what the hell production. I think I got a better production. I'm just fucking with you. Same people printed on their dollar bill. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of symbolism. There's a lot of symbolism involved on the dollar bill. There's a lot of symbolism in everything, like, that's big, anyways. If you actually look, some people I think will point out some stuff that might not be, but there's still a whole bunch there that actually is. But yeah, I mean, this video's got another 6 minutes of it. It was a 24-minute video that he's showing. I'm gonna go back to the start of one part just so that I can show the video that he's showing as well. Let me get it pulled up. Screen share window. Tatum's big old head over here. Turn on. All right, let me get my Bluetooth connected. All right, should connect there any second. Share. All right, so obviously Officer Tatum, and then I think this guy's name is Stu Peters' show. I don't watch the Stu Peters show. I don't know nothing about Stu Peters. There's also another guy that he shows. I disagree with what the other guy says too. I think both of what they say is a little off the wall. There's evidence that shows that what they say clearly didn't happen, and they got some of the evidence twisted in what they say. So I think I put it in a vertical stream so that it would go to YouTube Shorts. So I'm hoping it goes to YouTube Shorts. If not, I'll restart the thing. But I don't know how to find it. I mean,
Yo, what it do?
that's one of my other videos in YouTube Shorts. Hold on, I gotta switch accounts on here so that I can actually look for it in different shorts. All right, so it pops up on my feed, but will it pop up? Let's see if it pops up in the YouTube Shorts. I mean, it's popping up in the feed, so I'm not sure. Turn the volume down. Something went wrong. All right, let's see. Is it showing up? Is it showing up? It's not on YouTube Shorts, Nemo. I mean, I never stopped you guys from talking shit. I'm gonna be talking shit, but it doesn't honestly count us out because the whole division right now isn't doing that great. The way my division is playing is what's keeping any chances for the Cowboys having any hopes of any type of playoff. I don't know if they make it or not, but the division is helping them have a chance by the way they play, by the Eagles losing to the Giants, to the Broncos, the Commanders losing to the Bears. It's keeping our position in the ranking a lot closer than it really should be. Yeah, Nemo, I don't know that the Ravens can talk because you have one less win than we do. So at the end of the day, you have one less win and one more loss than we do. I was talking about Ccharlie. This is Ccharlie, but Nemo and Messi kind of asked the question, and I just responded to it. I'm actually going to play this here in just a second. I was just trying to make sure it's going to load up because I'm trying to get it to load up right here as well, and it has not yet. I don't know if I could change it to a horizontal feed. It should be in the YouTube Shorts. There should honestly be no reason, unless I have to do it from my phone. If I have to do it from my phone, I may just start the live stream over. But then I can't share. I can only listen to audio because I obviously, other than like I flip the camera around and share it, but I don't know how to share things that are from a computer to my phone. On live time anyway. I've been trying to figure out if there's a way to do that, but I haven't been able to find one. So the only way I've been able to figure it out to be able to do it on the computer, I mean, which I thought I did it right. Let me see, where's the... Let me hit edit real quick. Let me hit edit real quick. Customize, live stream, slow-mo. Alright, details. Do that. Content, no. Automatic cause, no. Recording date set, none, no. License standard, comments on. Short type. No, I can't change it. I was going to try to change it back to horizontal, but I thought vertical would have been the one that actually set it in motion to be on the live stream shorts. Bucks aren't in my division, Nemo. Bucks or Falcons, Panthers, and Saints, and obviously Bucks. That's the NFC South. I have to suffer enough. Man, I've suffered with the Cowboys for 20 plus years. What are you talking about? I've suffered with the Cowboys for 20 plus years. Haven't I suffered enough? All right. Let me know if you guys can see the video just fine. I'm gonna skip this guy because this guy is completely ludicrous. I mean, we'll play it. We'll play it. Might as well, right? All right, we'll play it from the beginning. All right. Can you guys hear the video just wrong? Now, I'm not one that believes these guys. I have never even watched this video that Brandon Tatum is showing. He's done a lot of what he said he was going to do, but there's some things that he has as well. But overall, he's still been the better president of our recent history. I will say that I think he has most of America's best interest at heart. I think he does also have influence from outside agencies who should also be registered as foreign agencies. But that's something else. What up, Jalen? For reconnaissance, because a bullet's not being fired from that. We couldn't detect that drone in that picture. Yeah, we would see it. Yeah, he has the story all mixed up. I see. I mean, I think I see all your messages. And in my mind, it's already been proven that it wasn't a 30-06 too. Nick, I actually have 4 channels total. 3 I kind of go on. 2 I really go on. I have a gaming channel as well, and then I have another channel that I ain't even telling nobody. It's got no subscribers, and it's gonna stay that way. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it because you have a gaslit first name. Your name is gaslighting. It's rage baiting. That ain't your real name. I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was. And then now Brandon Tatum's calling people on drugs. Now, I mean, I think their story is a little wild. I wouldn't go as far as like he's on meth. I mean, he don't look like somebody who's on meth, but I mean, I don't know. mean, we know that there was an autopsy. That's been released. We know that there has been an autopsy. I will say, I don't know that Turning Point has lied to us. If they have, I think it's mostly by no admission. But I don't think they've lied to us. I think they've just been very quiet, really. I do agree with Brandon on that. Like, you're going to blame everybody except yourself, of course. What up, Caribbean? They need to be more like the Dodgers. Not much, Caribbean. What's good? Or Caribbean? I don't know why I call you Caribbean. We got two of the same names spelled differently. No. Nee. That's your name, is Nee. Or I'll call you Grow, but that's it. I'll call you Grow. Because maybe you need to grow up. I mean, that part I do agree with. The attack on Ccharlie was indeed an attack on America and freedom of speech. But again, I don't listen to, what's his name? Stu Peters. The Stu Peters show. I've never even heard of it. I have seen his face before. I think just scrolling through, but I've never actually watched any of this dude's videos. I will say that I do agree with reported that I do think that Brandon Tatum is too emotionally involved. Just like I also think Candace is too emotionally involved. I don't think that either of them can look at this case thoroughly without a biased opinion. And it's funny because they both refer to Charlie Kirk, and both of their opinions are biased in the opposite directions because of each of their own life experiences. Brandon Tatum used to be a cop. Obviously, he's going to believe the cops and stuff more on that side of things. Candace Owens has been abused by the system and blackmailed and everything else, and exiled from mainstream media because of her opinions, and now labeled as an anti-Semitist, and like her opinions go in a different manner. But I will say that she's doing more due diligence than Brandon Tatum is. Brandon Tatum's kind of just blindly following everything that the FBI says. I think that is to a fault as well. But I mean, who am I? Who am I? Just a man with a mic and a camera, right? I think I'm the only one. Messi, I think I'm the only one that doesn't ban them. That's why I've always said that we are the misfits on YouTube. My channel's the channel that everybody goes to because nobody gets, because I'm not banning them yet. I do think that there is a lot of influence and misdirection and coincidental things that happen that do kind of tie Israel to this case that are very questionable and need dug into thoroughly. But I'm not at a point where I can technically point a finger at anybody to be like, that was the shooter. But I might be inclined to tell you who might be responsible. Yeah, they need to be more like the Dodgers. Buy out all the, stack your team. I mean, why watch baseball when you know the Dodgers are going to be the ones that win it again back to back? there's a lot of like correlations with the prices right now. The prices haven't continued to go up. They've just stayed at the high price that they've been at. We do need them to drop, yes. But as far as I've seen, grocery shopping and buying gas and stuff, the prices aren't really going up. They're just staying where they were, and they need to come down. But the price of gas, when it comes down, that inherently will drop the prices of groceries and goods on everything else, because obviously when the cost of gas is up, the cost of shipping everything is up. So then you got to charge more for everything else. But I clearly don't think this is an exploding microphone. An exploding microphone, for one, would have burnt a hole in Charlie's shirt, or at least left burn residue. If it was a gun in the microphone, when the object goes this way, this object's also going to go this way. They're going to go like this. When this item shoots a projectile this way, this item is going to go this way. That's, I don't remember whose law, but law of gravity. Like Newton's law of gravity, someone's law of gravity. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but well, they ass needs to get it. They need to get it. I'm just messing. I don't watch baseball, Jalen. I'm just being a troll. I mean, that happens in every sport, though. That happens in every sport, Messi. I mean, the government being down, it is what it is. It's retarded, but it is what it is. I wouldn't doubt it, but ain't there other sports as well that don't have salary caps? Like, ain't the NFL one of the only salary cap leagues right now? I don't know.
Right. And you tell me.
Oh, my headphone died. Sheesh. Sheesh, my equipment failing. This stream is all over the place. Royal, get your shit together. Okay, Carnage. Noah, Nemo, and Jalen, y'all are part of why it's all over the place. Y'all talking about everything else.
How you can fit a munition in it.
Nemo trying to talk a little bit.
Somehow doesn't have a grounding or backing to it. It's connected to his chest with a mat.
Stop sharing. I'm gonna fix this because I don't need it echoing. All right, headphones ain't working. I'm just gonna play the audio through the screen. Y'all still hear it just fine? No, I said Messi, Nemo, and Jalen. I said all three of your names. I know where he's from. I think he's too emotionally attached and believing too much of what the FBI is telling him. I also think Candace Owens is too emotionally attached and going. I feel like Candace Owens is more on the right path because she's asking more questions, and is seemingly to putting more documented evidence out there. But I think they're both too emotionally involved. Personally, you good, Jalen? Y'all good? Isn't it an indication? Oh yeah, I mean, I clearly don't think it was an explosion from the microphone or a shot from the microphone. Because again, the explosion from a microphone would have burnt his shirt. The shot from the microphone, the projectile would have went one way. The projectile would have went the other way. So the videos he's bringing up, they are retarded videos. And if I was him, I wouldn't have even given these videos any light. We know he really wants to get to the Candace Owens video because we know him and Candace Owens are kind of back and forth a little bit on this. They're not even saying each other's names, but I've heard both of them talk about each other, clearly about each other. And they won't say each other's names because they also support each other, as he sells Candace Owens merch on his website. What? Messy. What does the title of the video say? What does the title of the video say? Politics, religion, current events. Let us know. Let us know. I mean, his name rhymes really good with stupid. Stu Peters, stupid sounds about right. But oh. Joe Biden was scared of Israel in APAC. He was scared of them. It wasn't that he bowed down to them. Joe Biden was scared of them. He's like, you guys are going to have a stand down order. And they said, no, we the fuck ain't. And he said, okay. That was Joe Biden trying to get peace in the Middle East. That's exactly what he tried. And then they slapped his ass in the face and told him to shut up. And he sat his old ass down. Donald Trump is still trying to stay allies with them. So therefore, he still favors their opinion and still trusting them, which the CIA doesn't trust them. Or I mean, the government didn't trust them. There was news that came out with agents that have said that they don't even allow Israel packages and gifts to be sent because every time the Israel packages and gifts were sent, they always had spy bugs in them. That they had to X-ray these gifts because they were being spied. They were sending bugs in the packages to try to spy. Shit's retarded. But we want to trust these people. But we want to trust these people. I don't think that peace deal is going to go. All right, one, that was the first step to that peace deal. That's not the end of it. Two, we're still having a hard time getting all the hostages back or the bodies of the dead victims back. There's a lot more to it than that. They need to get to a step 2 of that phase, which I don't think either party will agree with because Bibi Netanyahu doesn't want that. He doesn't want a 2-state system. He wants it to all be under one. And the majority of Israel is going to be in agreement with him, as they are also voting him in every time he gets an election. You can't hear him at all. Hold up. All right, I can't hear him. Let me fix it.
Better? Like Charlie Kirk mentioned this in one of his
No, no way, Carnage. Is that hence his name, Officer Tatum? Is that why his name is? I would have never guessed that's why his name is Officer Tatum. Never would have guessed Brandon Tatum's YouTube channel's name was Officer Tatum because he was a cop. No, I would have never guessed that. No way. No way.
Last speeches.
No, and again, I don't agree with everything Officer Tatum or Brandon Tatum says. I think he's too emotionally attached to the case to begin with. But I'm just showing the video for what they're putting out, the people closest to him. I was showing Candace Owens in the last stream some and talking a little bit about that. And then this is going to be on the total opposite spectrum. And these two have talked about each other, but not mentioned each other's names because they also underlyingly support each other through being friends with Charlie Kirk. I think he overlooks and overbelieves the FBI and everything that they say way too much. I'm gonna honestly say that I've always thought that from the start of this case. I think that I've commented in his videos that I think he blindly follows what the police say. Like, that ain't it. I might have to put out a full screen. Like, I've commented on this video multiple times. My first one, I think they're just trying to close this case without doing their own due diligence. That's me. Look, I think you got way too much faith in the FBI. There's too much not adding up, and their story has been lies since the beginning. I don't agree with the people you're showing here, but there is others doing research and digging with facts that are asking better questions. I ain't watching any of these cronies you showing, but I don't think Tyler shot Charlie. I think he was a patsy for a bigger plot that we may really never get to know and get real justice for, because we may really never know. I don't think the FBI is trying to. I do think this FBI is trying to close this case way too fast. And then when he was talking about the projectile, I said evidence clearly shows that a blowing up microphone is not the problem. The microphone, if it blew up, it would have left burn marks. If it was as I've already stated, if it was a projectile, it would have gone one way. The projectile would have gone the other way. So I don't think either. I'm showing him because he was close to Charlie, because he was friends with Charlie. That's why. Candace Owens is in the UK. She's not people from Fort Worth. That was the person my last video was in. The video in between that you guys all missed because I went live after the last live stream. On last Wednesday, I went live again and was actually showing some of the Portland protests that I could find. Those people had nothing to do with Fort Worth. So this person and you, Carnage. This person and you. The only two. And he's the only one I've shown. You found me. I didn't find you.
About the derangement and the assassin culture of the left. We just seen them go to another politician's house and take them out.
I literally just commented on all these comments. Like, they still say seconds ago on the fucking video. You still see seconds ago? 0 seconds ago? I haven't refreshed the page. Since I started the live stream, I haven't. So 49 minutes ago, I didn't refresh the page. I came into this live stream starting off from where I ended up because I hadn't finished the video. There was 6 minutes left in the video. I'm sure, Carnage. I'm sure. The dumbass wants no comments read. Back to content.
They tried to take out Donald Trump. There are people, and the thing is, shame on you for anybody that's trying to divert from the real issue here. You should be ashamed. You're slightly complicit because you're looking at this. Look at the government. Look at Israel. Look at it. No, look at the people who are losing their minds in vitriolic hatred against conservatives. They had a guy get up on a building and try to shoot at ICE agents. The dummy end up hitting detainees.
So we want to go ask all these other people that probably have no idea what happened. There were some people that I think are also conspiring with this. but those people are ones that were posting previous to the incident, and then when the incident happened, they deleted the content or their channel completely. There are people like that. There's only a few of them, though. There's not many. And most of them have all already been brought up by Candace.
He literally tried to snipe and kill ICE agents in a sniper position. But no, don't look at them. Don't look.
I do think Candace Owens is on a better track of finding out who did this than he is. I think he's falsely following everything the FBI tells him because he was a cop, and that's what he's wired to do, is believe the cops.
Look at them. Look at Israel. Israel's the problem. The government is the problem. They're covering it up. It's somebody else. No, talk about the person who really is responsible for doing this. Because if you don't, these people will continue to be radical. You go poll some of these people in college and say, is it justified to take out your enemy, your political enemy, with violence and murder? Yes. Majority of them believe yes. They just got a guy in Virginia that's running for attorney general.
He wants us to point our fingers at people in Virginia that are running for attorney general. No. I think Candace Owens is asking some of the right questions. But will we get all the answers? Probably not. I don't think they'll ever give us all of the answers, just like every political assassination that we've ever had in the United States. We don't never really get all the answers. They either close the case really fast, because if the case went on for more than it does, the longer it goes on, the more holes get poked in the district attorney's chance of prosecuting who they want to get, because the evidence backing the prosecution isn't really there. And it's very fucking thin and faulty. And the longer it goes, the more holes get fucking probed into the case that the FBI and the district attorney are trying to bring it on to Tyler. To the point where Tyler might walk free. Now, Brandon Tatum doesn't want Tyler to walk free because he thinks he's the one that pulled the trigger. I personally think he was just a patsy. I think he was just a patsy.
Attorney general that threatened the lives of a political opponent on text message. The gubernatorial candidate will not condemn him. They will not. She will not condemn him. This is
the point of me showing his video. Isn't for you to start respecting him. It's not even me saying that I respect him. Obviously, I watch some of his content because I know he was close to Ccharlie in a sense. So therefore, he's going to have a pretty brass opinion about this. I try to stick to the people that were actually around Charlie Kirk to some extent on who I'm going to watch to find out any information. And he, I believe, is just going in the wrong direction. I think he's just falsely believing everything he's told. And it's unfortunate because I think because he's so close to the incident, because he was an ex-cop, that he's way too emotionally tied to the case.
The people who are the biggest threat to us. But yet people are saying, look. No, I want to see the messages on that.
To show what he's saying. Because he was close to, it's because he was close to Charlie. It wasn't any other reason. There's no other reason for me to show him, because he is, other than he was someone that was part of Turning Point USA. He is a part of Turning Point USA.
Discord. What was him and other people talking about on Discord? Why was there the existence of a Discord channel? This is what we need to be finding, not chasing conspiracy theories of maybe it was this person. Maybe I noticed something. Somebody got Converse in the crowd. Okay, man, come on. Really? Somebody got Converse on in the crowd. I noticed something. This guy looked like another guy.
It sounds like everybody that he watches that talk about the case are nut jobs. Everybody that he watches or shows in his video are nut jobs. He's not showing the other people that are actually doing their due diligence. He won't dare show Candace Owens, I dare, on his channel, even though I know he's clearly talked about her without mentioning her name in some of his videos. Because it's obvious. And he won't mention her name because, again, like I said, they are technically tied together by Charlie Kirk. And he also was, I don't know if he's currently still doing it, but he was selling Candace Owens merchandise on his website. So obviously they have a connection as well. How close that connection is, I don't know. But they obviously are, their belief is in two different fashions completely. No, I didn't say he. Oh, yeah, I said he's a part of. But by that meaning, yes, I don't mean he's like actively on their payroll. He was just someone that spoke at turning point events. Therefore, that ties him a little closer to the case than the nut jobs that he is showing on his stream that don't matter. If I was him, I wouldn't have gave those 2 streams that he showed, I wouldn't have gave their ass no light. They have no connection whatsoever. Nick, I don't think he's any better. I honestly don't think he's any better. I'll pull him up, but I don't think he's any better.
Evidence. That's not questioning. That's conjuring up misinformation that can never be disproven. I see this stuff every day on the internet, and I'm perplexed at how we're not focusing on the enemy at foot.
Let's see his latest video that involves Charlie Kirk. Like, what is he showing here? Like, what the fuck is this? Oh, this might be good. This might be good. Have any of you guys?
Who would you rather have run our country?
Have any of you guys seen the video with this Dean Withers guy before, where he talks to these no-name Trump supporters and goes against them with his facts, but is really just a dumbass?
Right
I
now?
haven't
Your
seen-
wife or Hitler?
Hitler! Of course. Of course. I don't have a wife, but if I did, she would not be fit to run the country. I could tell you that much. She can run the kitchen. She can't run the lawnmower. I'll put it that way.
All right, guys, welcome back to another base lore video. I'm the lore man, and
So I'm gonna go to the actual account. Do Charlie Withers and Nick Fuentes actually talk to each other? Or is this them reacting to different videos? I know I want to go find the one that doesn't have these 2 characters in it. Because I'm not care to react to their video. I would rather react to the main video if that's the case. Which means this obviously ain't it. This is based lore. Not who I care to react to. Shout out to him though. Have fun with your shit. I want to watch the actual Nick Fuentes video on it. Which I type in his name, and inherently none of these fucking videos are his. They're just about him. Why is it so crazy that none of the videos in the top of this are even his videos? They're just other people making videos about him. Like, I'm trying to pull up him specifically. I typed in his name. I'm getting all these base lores videos. No jumper. Like, what the fuck? Oh, I spelled his name wrong. Oh, well. That's almost it. That still has one of the reaction people in it. I want just their fucking channel. Why is it not pulling up their fucking channel? Alright, up. Alright. Maybe if I spell his name right. Can I not pull up their freaking channel? I know I don't follow their channel. Alright, you know what? Never mind. We'll just go to the Nick Fuentes child. Obviously, somebody's...
To you.
Are you gay?
You
Are
still
you
find their-
gay just to establish for the debate?
No, I'm straight. Unlike you,
Okay.
I'm empathetic. I'm able to place myself in other
Hold
people's
up,
shoes and see the world from a perspective.
So we should have be able to at least find Dean Withers. Dean Withers' channel don't pop up either. Oh, Dean Withers Fuentes ain't gonna pop it up. Of course, the retard's live right now. Now will it let me find the video with him and Nick Fuentes? Oh, is he? No, it ain't. So I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go to that other channel. That's the only one I'm gonna be able to find. Not Biased Lore. Where's the other one? The Fuentes Files.
World from a perspective in real life.
You empathize. You place yourself.
What up, Quez? He is a fish, Quez. Leave the fish alone, Quez. He's a fish.
In gay people's shoes.
Yeah, and I could
Do you
see how
imagine
terrible
what it
people
would
like
be
you are.
like to be gay?
No, I imagine what it would be like to be at the receiving end of your fucking
The receiving
tyranny.
end.
Of
You
your
empathize.
Dean Withers wants to be at the receiving end. He told Nick Fuentes right from the start he wants to be on the receiving end.
With the
tyranny.
receiving end, huh? What is
Yeah,
that
of
like?
Of like the tyranny of you and the other like white Christians that just
Oh,
come out here and
tyranny.
say, gay so bad, therefore we're gonna persecute these people.
Hey guys, welcome back to Truth and
I don't
Power.
think they need
Today we've got
persecuted.
a
I think
debate
they
that's
need,
actually worth watching. Nick Fuentes goes
They
head
need to
to
stop
head with
sinning.
liberal TikTok pastor
they need to
Dean
stop
Withers.
sinning.
And the topic is homosexuality bad?
All right, so again, shout out to the Nick Fuentes Files or the Fuentes Files. They're the ones that made this video. Obviously, it's really shout outs to Dean Withers and Nick Fuentes because it's really their video. But I couldn't find their video, so I found it on the Fuentes Files. If you like the video, go check out the channel. I'm not telling you to subscribe. These people only have 3 subscribers to begin with. But their video is about to give you now. So
This isn't a shout
I shouldn't get
fest.
copyrighted
Dean
channel from
does
him.
answer. He gives his
Showing
side
him love,
of his case. But here's the problem. Nick is too sharp. He's got the moral framework,
What up,
the
Steelers?
biblical
What up, Mom?
backing, and he doesn't blink. While Dean dances around definitions, Nick goes straight for the throat. Calm, controlled, precise. You'll see it yourself. This isn't just a difference of opinion. It's a difference in clarity, confidence, and command. If you're new here, subscribe.
Why does this guy not
If you're
actually
not, you already know.
this
Let's roll.
AR video
All
guy?
right, we're
Even
gonna do topic number 3.
also, I guess shout out to Aiden Ross and whoever else he had that hosted this video. I did not know this was an Hayden Ross hosted video on Kick. That's why I couldn't find it.
Is homosexuality bad? And we'll start with Dean again. I'll give you a 3-minute intro. Same thing to Nick, 3 minutes. And then I like the free flowing. It's been good so far.
I probably won't,
Go ahead. Go ahead, Dean.
all right, no worries. Yeah, so I probably won't need all 3 minutes. It'll be pretty easy. I don't think that being gay is wrong because there's no good reason to believe that it is wrong. There's just, multiple arguments that, Nick could probably give me. One would just be gay wrong because Sky Daddy says so in the Bible. Another argument he could give me is something to do with like telos, like the natural function of our bodies would indicate that we have a prescriptive purpose on how we're supposed to use them. That's not how we're supposed to use them. I'd say that doesn't exist. At the end of the day,
That is how we're supposed to use our bodies. It is
there's no reason for it to be
prescriptive.
wrong.
Men and
And
female
I
were
guess we'll
made
just
the way
see
they were
the
made.
next reason why it is wrong.
Men and female were made to be compatible with each other, not to be compatible with the same sex. That's just not the way our bodies were designed, obviously.
Because that's probably what
One of us has a plug, one of us has an outlet.
we're going to start. So I'll concede the rest of my time. Take it away, Nick.
Yeah.
Yes,
I love
sir,
the Sky
Gwen.
Daddy
Yes,
thing. It's like the
sir.
idea that there's a
Learn to
transcendent
love it,
God.
brother.
You
Learn
think
to
there's
love
a
it.
man in the clouds, and I don't
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I listen to science. It's just like the most brain dead new atheist. I'm surprised this stuff still exists.
Bro, you told me that you kill a baby if God told you to.
Hey, Dean. He has 3 minutes to interrupt. Dean, no more interruptions.
Yeah, silence while I attack your position. So here's the thing. Okay, the homosexuality thing, I mean, we could argue that the faculty of the reproductive organs is to have sex. The purpose of
You're
them
still
is to
here,
have
Gwen.
sex. We have sexual
I hope you
organs
enjoy it.
to have sex, and sex is for the purpose of insemination, procreation. It's what it is.
That's how man and female make baby. Man and man don't make baby. Woman and woman don't make baby. For the purpose of reproduction and for the purpose of our population and our civilization, man and women need to be able to recreate and procreate. Like, come on.
It's not, we
The
can't get
purpose.
too
There is a
creative.
purpose.
It
God
always
made it with
ends
a
the
purpose.
same way, and it's made for one purpose. We could argue that there is a prohibition of it in the Catholic Catechism and in the Bible. But I don't even think we need to go that far. It's really a question of whether we think people can do whatever they want. And this gets back to morality. If your conception of morality comes from, a vague idea of empathy or do no harm, and against harm, then you would say there's nothing necessarily wrong with suicide, drug abuse, homosexuality, gluttony, laziness, all kinds of other behaviors, because people say we own our bodies. We can make decisions. We're empowered. And we can kind of do whatever we want as long as we don't interfere with other people, as long as there's not an imposition on other people. That's really the fundamental premise. I reject that premise. I think that because we're created beings, we're created with a sense of dignity. Our souls and our bodies are connected. And God wants us to be dignified. And I think we all recognize that there are things that are dignified and things that are undignified. It's undignified to be an addict. It's undignified to be lazy. It's undignified to undergo a transgender surgery. It's undignified to do plastic surgery. And yes, it is undignified to engage in sodomy. What is it? 1 minute?
Yeah, 1 minute.
So, sodomy is something that is
Yes, there is
violent,
more of an age
it's
restriction on
filthy,
this channel.
it's
This is not for
undignified,
children.
and I think it's a travesty. It's such an unfortunate thing.
Sorry, Steeler.
People celebrate it the way these
Channel
flags,
ain't
but they're
necessarily
waving a
for you.
flag of really a filthy and violent and gross act that I think anybody has a natural sense of morality would reject it. So, I mean, I just think it's disgusting, and things that are disgusting are probably wrong.
Okay, your argument, it's disgusting, therefore.
Now, Messi, I do want to say that I don't want to just start the channel off by banning everybody that comes in, because that is inherently against the growth of the channel. Now, him being 11 does make it a little different. This is more for 16, 18, and up. Like, I call 16 because I know where Nemo stands, so I'm kind of letting him lead by, but it's more for an 18 and older group.
What's wrong? Hey, Nick, got a question. Is shitting disgusting?
No. Shitting is wrong. Good point.
Carnage, you better shush. Your ass is still here.
That's a good point.
That's the argument you gave.
I never thought of it that way.
You said it's disgusting, therefore it's wrong. Yeah, shitting. That's pretty gross.
It's a pretty good heuristic, yeah.
I want people that are closer to the voting base. That's why I say 16 and up, because 16 and 17 is the years that when they really start to get influenced onto the direction that they're going to vote. 11, he's still got a lot of learning to do. It's not my job to teach.
It's a pretty good. Well, and look,
that's the account.
Well, if you want to, if you want to talk about,
it's literally so fucking.
Yeah, I wouldn't want someone on YouTube teaching my children. I want my children to have my ideology, not someone on YouTube's ideology, because I don't know who that person is. The people that are close to me, I want to kind of influence their ideology in a direction that I feel is better for their humanity.
Simple.
For their civilization, and then for their kids' civilization. Because I don't need to think about it for me. I need to think about it for them. I need to think about it for their future. Why? Because he watches videos on YouTube? That doesn't necessarily make him schooled in any of it. It depends on what he's watching.
If your argument is, this is aesthetically unpleasing, therefore I find it disgusting.
He's probably also on TikTok, which is all propaganda-based. Now, especially.
Therefore, I'm going to describe it as being morally wrong.
This is just
first of all,
so low IQ.
Do you mind if? No, it's not low IQ.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Explain your syllogism.
Yeah, sure. So anyways, here's my perspective. You're just saying that you find it disgusting given your subjective mental states that lead you to the conclusion that it is something that's non-aesthetic. I think it's funny that you're giving me this argument when you've been chirping down my throat for the last 30 minutes that we need to rely on some objective standard to tell us what's right and wrong, even when we disagree. But now you're like, my mental states are not conducive towards me finding this to be aesthetically pleasing, therefore it's morally wrong. It's just a little bit, out of reach for you. But overwhelmingly, I don't even know if I should give a dignified response to what you just told me. Nick just said, I don't like it, therefore it's wrong. You also referenced a couple other things there about just engaging in dignified action.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I think your ideology, you may think so about mine, and that's fine. I think yours is also flawed. As I feel like you have a lot of right intentions, I feel like there's a lot of flaws to it as well.
Actions. Once again, that's another, I don't like it, therefore it's wrong, right? I could say that being Nick Fuentes and talking about how 6 million people didn't die at the Holocaust is undignified, and all of a sudden, in my worldview, you're going to fucking jail, right? But I think that if you're going to make the argument that it's either wrong to be gay or it's wrong to engage in same-sex intercourse, you're going to have to give me a little bit more reason than the fact that it doesn't align with what's aesthetically pleasing to you.
Are you gay? Are you gay just to establish for the debate?
No, I'm straight. Unlike you,
Okay.
I'm empathetic. I'm able to place myself in other people's shoes and see the world from
Empathy is a made-up word. Empathy is a word that they try to make you learn and use to fit their narratives and their fucking subject matter that they're trying to push. I have sympathy for certain things. I damn sure don't have fucking empathy for it, though. Because the empathetic means that I'm going through the same thing. To be empathetic, I need to be going through the same. I'm not going through the same fucking shit. So I'm not empathetic towards it. I can be sympathetic towards it, but I can't be empathetic towards something I'm not going through.
perspective and realize
You
what's right and
empathize.
what's
You
wrong,
place
even when
yourself
I'm
in
not
gay people's shoes.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I could
So you
see how terrible
imagine what it
people
would
like
be
you are.
like to be gay.
No, I imagine what it would be like to be at the receiving end of your
And again, we know that Dean Withers likes to be at the receiving end of homosexuality when it comes to these matters. You know, he wants to be on the receiving end.
The receiving
tyranny
end.
of
You
your fucking
empathize with the
tyranny.
receiving end, huh? What is
Yeah,
that
of
like?
Of like the tyranny of you and the other.
I don't really allow TikTok in my house either, Carnage. I'm against it as well.
Or like white Christians that just come out here and say,
I was against it before it was bought by the Israel IDF largest donor, Larry Ellison. I was against it before then.
gay so bad, therefore we're going to persecute these people. Therefore,
If you're
we're gonna write
empathizing
in the
with
Bible
gay
that
man,
they're
are you
gonna kill them.
okay?
Noah, you don't need to hear about empathetic because it's not real. I mean, to be empathetic means that you have to envision yourself or to be going, like, go look up the actual definition of the word. And then the definition that it's being used for is absolutely hysterical. It's incorrectly being used. The word empathetic is for you to be going through the same things or to imagine yourself in those same situations. I couldn't. I can be sympathetic towards things. I can have sympathy towards things, but I can't.
Interesting. Do you think about like gay sex? Do you empathize with gay sex at all?
Why is it always the
Things like
homophobic
that?
straight men that want to talk about gay sex?
It's a debate about homosexuality.
Yeah, you're talking, but you're getting a little bit too personal, Nick. I have a girlfriend. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm just asking. I'm just asking. So
I
when
know.
said,
I know.
I'm just asking.
One of the many. One of the many.
So here's the
Carnage, you use social media. What are you talking about?
thing. I didn't say
YouTube is also social media.
If it's disgusting, it's
also a metroplex, a meta place. No, she's
wrong.
Carnage.
What I
She's
mean
saying that
is,
to be
it's a pretty good
empathetic,
heuristic.
you have to feel what other people are feeling. That's what empathetic means. You have to be able to feel what they're feeling. That's what she's saying. Yeah, you have to be able to. That's what like if you look it up, by definition, it is being used incorrectly to push a narrative that doesn't even need to be pushed. She's not saying that you personally need to go feel what other people are feeling. She's saying that's what the definition of the word empathy is.
Something is discussed. If something is,
I agree. I think it's enough. That was the first thing I said about it. The first thing I said is the word is dumb. It doesn't exist. It's not real.
Found to be disgusting, it's probably
sympathy is real. Empathy
wrong.
Is made up.
And here's, you brought up fecal matter. You said shit. I'll say fecal matter. I'll be polite.
As a plumber, I use the word fecal matter or solid waste. Just like I don't say, hey, your shit's fucking clogging the toilets.
Fecal matter is
a lot of people don't want to hear that. What up,
offensive
Pat?
to us. It has offensive odor. It has an offensive look, and so on.
Definitely, Pat. Definitely. Bee stings. I had to go to the fucking urgent care yesterday. My legs swelled up to like the size of my bigger than my thigh, damn near. And it was hot, and it felt like that motherfucker was about to explode. I had to go to the urgent care to get a what the fuck's the name of the medicine? It was a steroid and it was a shot. It was like it was a steroid and they gave me what the fuck is this shit called? Presidine. They gave me a prescription. It was a Presidine shot and a steroid shot that they gave me, and it worked. And this morning I woke up, my leg was close to almost normal size. You could obviously tell it was still swelling, but as I was at work throughout the day, it kind of swelled back a little bit. Now that I've been off of it, it's kind of gone back down. And I've also continued to take the Presidone as prescribed. It was a shot from a doctor to take care of the bee stings that was swelling the whole bottom of my legs up. I got stung by. I found the yellow jacket nest. I can explain it like that. While doing yard work, I found a yellow jacket nest, as I did last year when I was mowing. Last year, I had 3 on the back of the ear and 1 on the back of my shoulder. Swelled the shit out of me up. Wasn't near as bad as the 3 on the inside of my ankle, the 1 on the outside of my ankle, the 1 on my other side of my ankle. So yes, that is getting better. No, I know. And the crazy thing was, though, like, when I got stung this year in my leg, the whole way home, the bee stings where I got stung that are no longer non-existent on my skin or on my ear, for some reason were itching like a motherfucker. Like, my ear that was stung last year, dude, it was itching like a motherfucker. And I thought that was crazy. But that's the only thing I come up with, is that there was some still type of fluid that's in my body that still triggered it to itch. I have no idea. It's crazy. But something like that. But yeah, I'm still swelled up. Just not nearly. Yesterday it was bad. It was bad yesterday. Like, my one calf, it looked worse than being diabetic. Like, it was crazy. Now you swell up as a diabetic. It was bad. I felt like my leg was gonna pop.
Why is that? Why do we find it disgusting?
Yeah, luckily I never got in that. I started to get like a cottony feeling in the back of my throat, but I never actually had any issues with breathing or nothing. But
Why are we repelled by it? Because if we were to handle it and touch it, we would get sick and die. If we were to eat it,
I was being sensitive. I didn't even know anybody was talking to you.
We would get sick and die. If we don't
who is even talking to you?
Properly dispose of it, it would poison the community and we would die. So the act of excreting waste is not an evil act, but fecal matter in itself, it disgusts us on an instinctual basis for a very good reason. Okay. And that's why it's a heuristic. And we find the same thing about surgery and blood, you know why? And about snakes and about spiders. There's a reason for that. And the same thing is true about homosexuality. Now, it's like, you look at the homosexual act, okay?
Do you mind if I respond to that?
Yeah, go ahead. Sure.
Sure. Yeah, you're just further like, I look at it. It's
further what? You're just not hearing me.
So I am. So this same intuition.
You're not empathizing.
The same intuition that you're describing to me, and like.
You're not hearing me, Dean, and I empathize with you.
The other how many people are watching, I don't even know, is essentially that you have this innate driven psychological response that when you look at this, it's bad. You kind of related this to looking at shit. And because when you look at shit, it's bad, you know.
I wasn't asking for sympathy for my wound. I was responding to Pat because he knew about it.
That's like driven via.
I was updating.
Fact that if you eat it, it could give you like bacteria, it can make you sick, whatever. Okay. But here's my point. The same innate, like prejudice-driven response.
What he does, what this guy does, Dean Withers, he goes on YouTube and TikTok, and he literally tries to debate MAGA supporters, Trump supporters, but his debates are always flawed and fucked up. Yeah, clearly. Fucking retard.
that you are holding
Trolls
towards
will be
gay
banned.
people that lead you
This is for real conversations. If you can't have real conversations, you might as well leave.
to the conclusion that it's thereby wrong is the same
I
innate
can
driven
assist.
prejudice response
Or
from white
I can
supremacists towards
assist.
black people. So what would you say to a white supremacist
My ass been
giving
working,
you the same
walking
exact
it off,
argument
as I've been
that
going to
you're
work
giving
and
me
everything.
about gay people, but about black people? What if they made the argument that they just feel on some innate behavioral level that it is just wrong to be black?
I don't stop my I don't stop my life or my process of what I do on a daily basis for an injury or a wound.
When I look at black people, I feel this way.
I don't need to prove your point, man. The proof that you can't have a real conversation is the proof that why you don't even need to be here.
In that way, the same way that you're describing to me.
The proof that you're only having trouble. Dude, I would like this to be mostly real conversations, not a bunch of shit.
Right now. And the reason that I think this point is so important to bring up here is, well, you're just describing your prejudice.
Okay, well, I would say, first of all, I don't have
There's no mods in here, Carnage.
a prejudice against gay people. I really don't. I'm describing the act. I'm describing the act of what they're doing, which is filthy. If you look at a guy walking down the street, for the most part, like, let's say it was a guy wearing like guys' clothes, but he was gay, you would know he was gay, and your disgust reflex wouldn't be triggered. But when you think about sodomy, which involves a whole host of gross stuff. I mean, they have to take drugs to loosen their buttholes. They have to flush out their buttholes of poo because the penis is going where poo is. This is disgusting stuff. And the idea of it's disgusting. And it's the act which is disgusting. So it's got nothing really to do with prejudice or anything like that. It's that the act itself, I think, hang on. And by the way, it's also universal.
Why does Dean Withers seem to be bothered by these conversations? I thought he was for this. I thought he wanted to be on the receiving end of this.
It's universal and it's instinctual. There was a study that was done, for example, that said that men who witnessed two gay men kissing had the same disgust reflex as seeing maggots. I'm sure you've heard of that.
Coffee doesn't have no effect on my sleeping or my awakeness.
Nick, I'm just trying to get you to recognize that.
Can you not interrupt me? Why interrupt me every single time? I'm trying to make a point here.
A white business owner in the 1960s would have said the same thing that you're saying about gay people right now about black people going into their business.
No.
Are we now changing the subject to racism? Is that where Dean Withers is going with this? Because he has no more argument towards the actual subject.
I asked you a question. The reason why I'm interrupting you here is because you're not giving me a response.
It's a false syllogism.
So?
You're bringing in white.
It's an argument between left and right about different topics, hosted by Aiden Ross.
Supremacy to
from two content creators that are fairly large content creators, in Dean Withers and Nick Fuentes.
Homosexuality is a behavior.
Can I tell you particularly? No, homosexuality is not a behavior.
It is a behavior.
Okay, so what do you say?
What is? Or don't do drugs.
Action?
Obviously, homosexuality is a behavior. It means if a man is attracted to another man but never has sex, is he really homosexual?
Oh, wait, I have a question. Was Jesus straight?
I don't think he had a sexuality because he was God.
Okay, so it's perfect not to be attracted to women because Jesus was perfect and he wasn't attracted to women?
What are these false? It's always just like bullshit.
Oh, so, I have a question.
You don't like gay people. What about white people not liking black people? Was Jesus straight?
What'd you say here?
Huh?
If you never engage in gay sex, then you're not gay. So Nick,
I didn't say that. I said homosexuality is sex is an act. It's an act.
Oh, okay. So you said if you don't engage in gay sex, you're not homosexual because homosexual is predicated on the action.
Off topic, Carnage. Off topic.
Yeah, so you're telling me if you don't engage in that action, then you're not that, dude. How fucking do I need to write it on a piece of paper?
If you are a person that engages in that act, you are that person.
Right. So no, what I'm telling you is that sexual orientations are not defined upon the actions that you engage in.
What are they defined on?
On your attractions, right? And I'll give you a really good reason to believe this. Nick, at what age did you lose your virginity? Like 25?
I haven't. I'm Catholic.
Oh shit, Nick.
I'm going to get married.
Nick, you're not straight by your definition because you've never engaged in the action of heterosexual intercourse.
True. I'm asexual. I'm an asexual.
You can't get out
incel.
of this one. So you're gonna make
No.
a joke because you know you can't get out of this.
It's not a joke.
Wait, so Nick, you're not straight?
Not yet. But
So
I
you
will
get
be.
First here, folks. Nick Fuentes is not straight. Nick Fuentes is not straight, ladies and gentlemen. I want to make that one clear. I want to make that one very,
Okay,
very
that's
clear.
good.
That was good. So do you now see why we should predicate
My
the definition
sexuality
of-
is incel. It's
Do you now-
involuntarily celibate.
So do you now see why we should predicate the definition of like straight and gay based upon the
No,
attraction?
I think homosexuality is an act.
Oh, okay. So if you then you think being straight's an act too. All right. So Nick Fuentes not okay. That's the absurdity that I'll reach. If you want to say
She ain't lying. She ain't lying.
That like being straight is predicated based upon the action, then go for it. It just means that Nick Fuentes isn't straight. Okay. And then also I want to talk about that action. So
You're empathizing with gay people. If you're envisioning yourself being gay, you're not.
Don't forget, he's on the receiving end of visualizing himself.
Straight either, buddy. If you're empathizing, if you're getting in their head, getting in their shoes, getting in their wherever.
Okay.
Then
Then
I
that's a
don't know.
bad
I think
thing.
it seems like you're kind of all the
And Nick-
above. But
And Nick, that's
I mean,
the
look,
bad
this
thing
is really
about-
childish.
No, I want to respond
The
to that.
question is
That's
whether it's
annoying.
moral.
Let me respond to that.
Please
let me
tell
respond
me
to that.
about your empathy. I want to hear about
Please,
it.
yeah, sure. So that's
Which
like a bad
partner do
thing.
you empathize more with? The one that's on top or the one that's on bottom? I'm curious.
Right.
Well, he already told us. He empathizes more from the receiving end. So we knew that, Nick. We knew he was on the receiving end.
Where's the
Right.
empathy directed?
Right. I got a question. God's all knowing, right?
Here we go. Yes.
So God knows what it's like to get fucked in the ass by two dudes. So and God empathizes
great.
with it. Why can't
That's
I?
great. Very
Oh,
good.
wait.
Very good. No, God doesn't empathize with those people. God casts those people off.
Terrible.
God told him to stop sinning. God said, sin no more.
Oh, that's so bad.
That's great. It's very low IQ humor.
It's very low IQ humor. No, you're getting
is.
fucking dunked on repeatedly. I thought you'd be a better debater.
You're the
Nick
guy that
Fuentes.
said you're empathizing with gay people, and you're saying that poo isn't filthy or something?
Oh no, so once again, my argument is that you have absolutely no reason to believe that being gay is wrong, and the existence of yourself alongside others just like you that hold this baseless, trivial prejudice has led to generations
It's
of members
not-
of the LGBT.
Oh.
One moment, let me cook. That led to generations of members
Generations of the
Let me- let me-
LGBT community.
Let me cook. You're
Finish
getting a
the
little bit
acronym.
frustrated. Sir, do I need to put the polka dots?
No,
or
no,
the
no, no.
flag
Give us
behind
the
me?
whole acronym.
Yeah, so generations of the LGBTQ plus community, right, have lived under an oppressive system because
Oh
people
my
like you like to open up the front door of their house and then scream and shout how wrong it is to love another person and a consentful adult and non-incestual.
I personally ain't going to scream and shout at nobody, for one. I'm going to just not distance myself. Because I just don't agree with their lifestyle decisions.
relationship.
Ugh.
It is absolutely fucking insane to me.
I'm not in control of what they do with their life, so I ain't trying to be either. If they ask me, I'll tell them that I disagree, but to it's not my extent to try to care too much.
In here, you're gonna say, "Oh, Dean, you're boring me because I'm able to empathize with other humans." Is that like a
Oh,
new
brother.
concept?
Yeah,
to
no,
you?
because you're a really good person. Being in favor of gay sex means you're a really good person and you empathize with people and care. It has nothing to do with whether you believe there's a natural law or anything and things we ought to do or not do with our bodies. It's because you're a really fucking wholesome, good person.
Wait, what
You're a
reason do you have
wholesome
to?
chungus.
What reason do you have to believe, right, that we ought not?
It's
engage
bad.
in gay
Look,
sex?
homosexuality is bad for people. I mean, it's an unnatural act because it's in.
It is bad for people. It's population control, for one.
Compatible.
Wait, can you
It's
define
unnatural,
unnatural?
it's filthy, it's violent. It doesn't work. I mean, what is a sexual act?
Wait,
What
you
is a
please
sexual
define
act?
unnatural?
10
It
minutes,
is.
guys. 10 minutes on this topic.
Yeah, like the sexual act. I mean,
That's
it's very, like-
contrary to its purpose, contrary to its nature.
Okay, so you're saying it's contrary to its nature. So you're saying
Yes.
that like every part of your body has a nature. The nature of the penis isn't to enter into an asshole.
Correct, yes.
Okay, what's the nature of your lips?
To do everything that a lip does.
Like eat food, talk, speak. That.
I'm sure, yeah.
So it's wrong to kiss your girlfriend because that's going against.
No,
the
they're
nature
made
of
for
your
that
lips?
too. They're made for that. That has a purpose in sexuality as well.
If you could say that your lips are made for kissing your girlfriend, why can't I say that the pee-pee's made for being inserted into the asshole?
Because the asshole isn't meant to be penetrated. Because when that happens, it has long-term health effects. You could look, there are a lot of like ex-homosexuals that talk about how they have long-term, I mean, I don't want to get graphic, but they have to wear
Long-term health
diapers.
effects
They have to
equal-
wear
so-
diapers
So
because it's not
long-term health
natural.
effects equal unnatural.
Yeah, if you're persistently doing something that leads to long-term chronic problems like that, yeah.
Okay, wait. I think that this is
Also,
another.
it's dirty,
I think
and
that
that's
this
why
is
there's
another-
disease.
Definitely dirty. I haven't looked into any studies on what long-term effects have. I haven't cared to look that deep into it because it's not a subject that I really agree with.
That
I
results
think that
from
this
that
is
as well.
another. I think that this is another trivial argument. Would you say that it's wrong to play the piano because you're unnaturally using your fingers to hit the keys that could lead to long-term health effects such
No,
as
because it's not contrary to its nature.
Oh wait, but it leads to long-term negative health effects. And some people, it could lead to like their hands seizing up. Or
So now he's going to talk about what the purpose of a piano is for. We're talking about the purpose of humanity and humans. Like man and woman were created to procreate, like and make children and expand and grow. You can't do that if you're with the same sex. Not without some other science form injected into it.
forget the particular word, but it essentially leads to very like bad long-term health effects like within the hands. So like given
Yeah.
your logic, why wouldn't you say that it's wrong to play the piano? Granted, right, that it's not in the nature, right? That
Gaslighting, rage baiting, dun 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 dun.
that was a trivial assumption, and it leads to negative long-term health effects.
No, it's
such as
obvious because I mean, what do we call the penis? It's a sexual organ. It's for the purpose of sex. Fingers are a little bit different. Lips are a little bit different. They have all kinds of different potential utilities and things like that. But the sexual organ is directed towards the sexual function. I mean, why do we? The reason the penis is
You wouldn't get it, Dean. You wouldn't get it because you like to emphasize on the receiving end with homosexuality.
shaped like it is. The reason, okay, now you're going to interrupt me. The reason that it's shaped like it is and positioned where it is and all those things.
Why the fuck does their lighting all keep flickering?
It's for one purpose. The reason that it, I mean, not to get graphic, but the reason it does all the things it does is for the purpose of insemination. It's not for the purpose of inseminating a person's colon or rectum. And by the way, a butthole has literally one purpose. Okay, a butthole has one purpose, which is to excrete waste, not for
So do you mind
other
if I
things
give
like
you my
that.
stance on this? I want to give you my stance.
Yeah, let's hear. Well, it is
Yeah.
a debate, so I wouldn't mind that at all, actually.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think that we could prescriptively define the function of like any part of our body or really like anything for that matter. We could only
Okay.
descriptively define them. Like I could give you a good analogy here. Like if you went to like a hardware store like Lowe's or Home Depot, right, and you went to buy a hammer, and the instruction manual on this hammer tells you that it's supposed to put nails into wood. Well, I mean, all of a sudden you are misusing the hammer if you're not putting nails in the wood. But if you go into the middle of the forest and you find a rock in the shape of a hammer, identical to the one in Lowe's, you're not doing anything wrong regardless of how you use it because there wasn't any intention behind its design. And that's exactly what I would say about the human anatomy. Right? There was no conscious intention behind the design of the human anatomy. I think that we could descriptively define how we use parts of our.
I think that his argument is so fucking stupid and flawed. Like, what the fuck is he saying?
Body and
I think is I know what a lot he's saying is I think, and I think maybe he should stop thinking and actually go read some actual
I
books
think
that could help him really define what the human anatomy is designed for, because that stuff is out there.
conceded to this earlier when you told me that it's in my nature to
And none of it really had any gay intentions.
use my hands to play the piano or to use my mouth to kiss my girlfriend. Those are not intentful, prescriptive claims that you're making about the function or use of my hands. These are going to be descriptions about how we can use my hands, about how we
say
can
big
use my
words
lips,
'cause they
and that's
sound
exactly
cool
how
and
I'd
they
reference
don't.
these sexual organs. Okay, and the only way
Yeah.
for you to justify your claim that there is intention behind the design of the
I wouldn't doubt it. Pat.
human anatomy to justify that there's incorrect uses of
He's dumb as hell, Mom. Dumb as hell.
it would be God. And of course, I dispute the existence of God. You couldn't prove that God exists. If we had 30 minutes, I could be able to give you an argument to show that it's logically impossible for the Christian God to exist. So I think what it's best for you to do right now is to either concede your position or just say it outright. You think being gay is wrong because God said so. You
So is
think
this
being
not
gay is
the whole
wrong because
Sorry,
you
Because this video ends in 8 minutes. I thought there was other topics.
Truly believe that God built our bodies to function in a particular manner that is adjacent to the use that you like to describe to our fingers or to our mouths. Say it out loud.
Well, like I said,
I've never seen the Parker guy. I have seen him before. Dean Withers, I've seen him scrolling through YouTube Shorts before. I don't know who the Parker guy is. I know there's another guy that wears glasses, that dresses all nerdy, taps a pen on a desk, and is an atheist and tries to disprove Christ all day on YouTube. I have seen that one as well. Another lunatic. But science. Chew on my pen. But science. Flip my pen. But science. There's got to be a bunch of people out there like that, just delusional.
If you were listening at the very beginning of my opening statement, I said we are created and we are ensouled, and our souls and our bodies have to be treated with dignity. And yes, you're 100% right. I mean, if you believe that, if you're a nihilist or a materialist and you believe there's only matter and everything is subjective, then yeah, like there's no problem with putting this in there and that over there. But if you think that we are created, and if you think there is such a thing as a natural law and a moral law, then we would have to abide by what we can assume are these functions, or what we are told are the functions by revelation. If you believe in a religion with revelation, then it's revealed. If you believe in a religion which is philosophical, then you have to deduce it rationally. But when you look at something like the anus, you know, E. Michael Jones has a famous quote about this: the anus is not a sex organ. It's obviously not. It's there for one purpose. And I think, you know, we all sort of know, like, yeah, of course you can do these things. No one's arguing that you can't. Of course you can. It can be done. You're capable of doing it. The question is, should we do these things? You know, and if these things are contrary to their nature, and there's evidence that this is the case because they result in problems, then we probably shouldn't. And you don't even necessarily need to believe in God.
That's a pretty good argument. I ain't gonna lie. That is a pretty good argument there by Mr. Nick Fuentes.
Understand that. I think that, hang on, I'm not totally finished. I think that even if you don't believe in God, I think there are a lot of people that actually don't believe in God that still find it to be.
Yeah, I don't really watch a whole lot of Ben Shapiro either. I've seen his shit, but not his biggest fan.
A kind of degenerative, indulgent, undignified practice. I'm not finished yet. You're very disrespectful in that way.
No, I go through other outlets than just watching. I like to read. I actually like to read things.
I'm so respectful, and you're being very rude the way you're chirping with these little interruptions. And the thing is, I mean, let's imagine what it is. When they're walking down the street waving that flag, it represents.
I also don't have time to catch everything.
A filthy, violent act where you're evacuating fecal matter out of your bowels to make room for sex, and it's never fully gone. And this is why they get AIDS, because you're putting a sexual organ where the shit is. And that's just something that, like, yeah, is objectively gross, I think, for very good reasons, which is a pretty good heuristic that it's also immoral. And so, you know, people that are same-sex attracted, people that are tolerant of same-sex attracted persons, and people that are not, I think should all be able to recognize that sodomy is something that is, there's something deeply wrong with it, and it should be avoided, even if you're not religious.
Let's do closing statements. 1 minute each. I'll give 1 minute to Dean, and then 1 minute to Nick. We'll go on to the next.
So this is the only topic they cover in this video. I take it then, since Aiden Ross is also ending it.
Next topic.
Great, thank you so much.
I thought there would have been more topics. And I ain't got shit to do with that. That's a retarded argument. Well, the video's about to end, and Aiden Ross is closing it out. Is it a different debate, or is this the one? Well, I don't read every one of your comments, so I didn't catch it.
So, Nick Fuentes?
I then asked you the question, though, about 2 minutes ago.
Made two arguments. The first argument that Nick Fuentes made was that I think it's gross, therefore it's wrong. In Nick's closing statement, what he will not do is give me the logical distinction with him saying gay gross, therefore wrong, and a white supremacist saying being black gross, therefore wrong. There's no logical distinction between the way in which those two beliefs were formed, and he won't be able to give it to me. The second argument that Nick made.
Why is that the correlation he tries to make? because you think having sex with the same gender is gross, you therefore think me in a different color. How the fuck does that logic come across? Anybody with common sense says that's just retarded. That's a retarded comparison.
Here was that we can deduce that it's not within the teleological the teleological use of these sex organs to use them in such a manner where the penis is inserted into the anus, because doing so can reap long-term negative outcomes. Okay, right? He will not be able to give me the difference between saying this is why gay sex is wrong and me saying, well, it's wrong to play the piano.
I can tell you Pat doesn't really get into a whole lot of political things. Pat's just here really to support me for this channel. So I wouldn't expect him to help me with political videos to find, because I know that's not really what he's into. Personally, we all have our different interests. I kind of have my interests are kind of a little bit of everywhere, but
because when you use your hands to do so, this could,
which also makes it hard to focus in one general spot,
reap negative long-term outcomes such as arthritis. So those two arguments alone show us all that Nick's logic here is unreliable because of the absurdities in which they yield. Right? If the same logic that you're using to justify that being gay is wrong could lead a white supremacist to the conclusion that being black is wrong, and lead.
How is that the same thing? How do you I hope Nick tears that apart, because the fuck, that ain't logic. He's using the word logic when he's talking about idiocracy, because that's not a good comparison.
That playing the piano is wrong, maybe your logic isn't that sound. And I think that's going to be my closing statement. If Nick Fuentes was honest with us here, folks, he would tell us that being gay is wrong because he's just a little bit prejudiced, don't you think?
Okay, that was a bit over. Nick, I'll give you 90 seconds to close here.
I'm thinking anybody
why do we got to do the debate club stuff? Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what Nick Fuentes is going to try and we're on Aiden Ross, okay, bitch. This is Aiden Ross live. There's no rules here, okay, other than the time limit. My closing statement is very simple. It's just like how I started. If you believe, and I tend to think that every decent person does, even if you're not Christian or necessarily religious, if you believe that we are more than just matter, meaning that we have souls, meaning that there is something deeper, there's a ghost in the machine that is a true source of identity. If you believe that the universe is created and we're created, then you believe that moral conduct is not just about avoiding harm or hurting people. There's also a way to conduct your moral life independently. And it's how you treat yourself, it's your actions. We all understand there's an idea of discipline, cleanliness, all those kinds of things. And the idea of sodomy, which people should think of when they think of homosexuality, I think according to any decent person in any culture, is something that is violent, filthy, and those things tend to be wrong. It's contrary to the nature of sex, what we know the anus and the penis to be for, or for lesbians for that matter, it's contrary to the purpose of those things. And I would say that on top of all that, you have evidence that this is the case because there's such a low incidence of it. It's a very small percentage of the population, has a very high coincidence with mental illness, and there's a very common family.
Big fact. It has a very high coincidence with mental illness. Not only that, with a lot of these shootings that have happened, they also tend to be found out. Come on. There's a lot of things that conclude to mental illness being a lot to do with
pattern that produces that behavior, that disposition.
Hey, you got about 10 seconds, Nick. 10 seconds.
Okay. It's a very particular kind of behavior that's a response to things.
Well,
it should be avoided. I think any decent person realizes that.
Hey, Aiden.
Yes.
No, there's no more on the subject, Dean.
Hold on. What does Dean want to Yes, Dean.
Well,
all right, Pat.
I would
brother.
propose giving Nick another 60 seconds to respond to my closing statement. As I pointed out in my closing statement, he wouldn't respond to the arguments I gave, and he still didn't. So I just wanted to see if Nick wanted more time to do that. If not, we can move on, but he probably won't.
Can we give him 60 more seconds to actually respond? Okay, can we do the next topic now?
We're gonna move on
to respond to your stupid syllogism about white supremacy and the Holocaust and January 6th or whatever.
That's a damning non-answer. Let's go to the next topic.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna go to the next one, and then Dean, you agreed to do immigration. We'll circle back to Kamala Trump after the last agreed upon subject. Is that cool?
Yeah, depending on what time.
That's the clip.
All right, so yeah, that's his clip. Obviously, there's a bigger clip. Let me pull it. Oh. All right. Man, I hate you gotta fucking go through other shit to find it. But if that's what I gotta do. Alright, I'll pick something up to eat. Get something to eat.
Hey, look at right here.
Alright, hold up. So it's 2 hour and 20 minutes. So obviously now we have watched this section of this video is in like the middle of the video that we watched. So I'm gonna have to skip through like the middle of the video. Because we already just went through it, but I'm gonna start it from the beginning here. Tell me if I need to turn the volume down on it. I think it,
Let's go.
What?
You have aura.
Thank you, bro. Wait, hold on. What's that? Oh, shit. Shit, I got it.
Alright, so shout out.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to invite you to this room. Don't leak it, all right?
Alright. So shout out definitely Aiden Ross and his partner over there in Crime on Kick for this video. It's not my video. I don't want the content to it. It's Nick Fuentes, Dean Withers. We've already showed a middle section of this video, so I'm going to cut that section out when we get to it and then just skip over it. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and play it out.
Plays off, right?
Let me know if the volume
my boy
is
Dean
loud,
too.
good,
All right, 1 second here.
or whatever. Y'all, let me know at least if you can hear it all right.
What's up, Dean?
What's going on, Aiden? How you doing?
Good, brother. How are you?
Dude, I'm doing all right. I'm a little bit nervous. I've had Knicks fans on the Twitter account. They're a little bit wild.
Hey.
What's going on, man? How you doing?
What's up? I'm good. How you doing?
Doing all right. It's a good night.
Let's have a great time.
Is.
Despite, Dean, it's a pleasure to meet you, man. Despite whatever I believe in, you know, like I said, I believe in a couple of your guys' points for certain topics. Me and Sneeko are gonna hold our ground and be as neutral as possible.
Cool. Sounds good. I appreciate y'all for that.
Sneeko, Dean, by the way, Dean, Sneeko, you're not gonna be able to see him because we're kind of reacting over you, but
So from the clip that I saw, Aiden and Sneeko didn't really have any input other than the like timer, subject. So far as I know, they're just a host in that manner, just kind of letting Dean Withers and Nick Fuentes have the debates over the topics that they pick in the time frame that they put. I don't know that I'm actually going to get all of this tonight anyways. By the way, I'll probably go for a little while here. So we might... we'd be lucky to make it to the section we...
I'll turn my camera on for a quick second. You can.
We'll probably end
meet us
right
face to
before
face.
that, and we can pick it
This is
back up.
Nico.
What's going on, man?
Another stream.
What's going on, dude? I was a little bit disappointed to hear that the debate between you and me wasn't happening, but you know, here we are nonetheless. It's good to meet you.
Yeah, I didn't even hear about that. I didn't know that was confirmed.
I told you it was.
There was never confirmed.
I literally told you it was. I have the texts.
Show me.
You want to see the text?
Yeah.
Well, it was over FaceTime, actually.
I don't know too much about you. We saw some of your Jubilee video, but I've heard good things about your debating.
But Aiden told me that you like agreed to the topics.
No, I didn't.
Okay, I must have.
I'm angling a debate towards Ethan Klein and Hassan Abi right now. But if it makes sense, it makes sense. And I'll debate anybody.
Okay,
Today
all right.
we'll be moderating. I moderate debates pretty frequently, so I'm going to stay neutral. Obviously, like I've known Nick for quite some time, but yeah, we don't want to come off biased at all. We're going to keep it fair and make sure that we can cover all the topics.
Cool, sounds good. Nick, your webcam is
Nick,
not
let's get your
loaded.
camera
I'm
right.
trying to get set up here. Give me 1 sec.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out how I can.
Where did you tell me where it was? I didn't scroll back up, bro. I just went to Google and Googled it, and it's the first link.
Do this here.
I actually first I tried to go straight to Twitch, but Twitch never keeps your fucking videos after once you're done with the live stream, the video damn near disappears. For your viewing, obviously, they still have it on record, but I can't never go find any of my old videos on Twitch. I can't never go find any of Aiden's old videos on Twitch. So I ended up having to just go to Google, where there it was streamed to YouTube from their Discord. And that's how I found it. I found it on YouTube, on Google.
Dude, I see Aiden giving you that side eye. I'm not gonna lie, that's crazy.
It's because there's
You told me I had to make you a mod for you to send me the link.
sexual tension.
Okay, word, got it.
All right, I guess I'll just do it like this. My audience won't be able to see, but maybe I'll just.
All right, I'll let you guys. You guys go ahead and introduce each other.
Take it away, Nick. You got it first.
Hang on. What's up? Okay.
I guess while he's figuring that out, I'll go ahead and give an introduction of myself to everyone watching. I am Dean Withers. I am a 20-year-old liberal. I really enjoy I enjoy politics. I enjoy debate, and I started streaming on TikTok about 1.5 years ago, yapping my mouth to maybe a crowd of 30 people, and here we are, 1.5 years later on a debate stage on Aiden Ross's stream
Hang
debating
on, but
Nick
then
Fuentes.
this will be.
All right,
So,
thank you, Dean.
It's gonna be a fun night, guys.
Thank you very much. It is gonna be a fun one. We're just waiting for Nick, and then we'll let Nick introduce himself, and then.
Then we gotta agree on topics and terms and everything.
No, they already both agreed on the topics.
They have?
Yeah, there's 4 good
I
topics.
think they should do maybe a 2 to 5 minute
Four
intro, depending what they agree on, and then
I agree, and then we'll ask a
and
question.
then we'll do free flowing. And if they interrupt each other, then we can go to 90-second, 2-minute back and forth.
Correct. And then we have the ability to server mute as well.
Oh, yeah, guys, if you want to like formalize this, go for it. Honestly, I was coming in here expecting a back and forth conversation.
Well,
but I'm
Well, it is.
down.
No, for sure.
But I'm
Down
saying
with
if
the
it becomes too much
formalization.
interruption, then we'll do time back and forth.
Yeah.
Cool.
We'll figure it out.
We don't want to hear like you guys talking over each other the whole time.
Hey, hey, Nick, if you can hear me, I know how to fix your issue, bro.
Okay, what's up?
So are you using OBS Studio?
All right, so I'm gonna pause their volume for a moment. Wait, you didn't tell me where to find it. You said make me a mod. You said make me a mod. I'll send you the link. I said I ain't making nobody no mods. I don't know. Maybe I don't make no mods. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just gonna let it do whatever and see what it does. And when it gets to a point where it needs mods, maybe we'll make some. But it don't need mods. It don't have 100 people on it. They're trying to get Nick Fuentes on camera right now. He was having troubles. Aiden's trying to help him out right now. Obviously, I'm not with this live, but when did you send me the link, Carnage? I don't see a link. All right. Yeah, I don't see a link. I don't see a link. Let's see. They got Nick on camera. Let me back it up a second.
Okay.
All
I
right.
think we're good
Can you
now.
see?
Yes, we're good. Okay, now let me do this like this. Okay, that wasn't too hard.
All right.
All right.
Nick, he give it a little introduction. I would like you to give a little introduction and tell us, the new viewers and stuff, who you are, what you do, talk a little about yourself, and yeah, go ahead.
Sure. Yeah. Well, my name is Nicholas J. Fuentes. I'm a live streamer. I've been doing a show called America First for 8 years, almost 8 years now. I'm 26, from Chicago. I'm a reactionary, Trump supporter. Well, I was a Trump supporter, not so much anymore, but I'll be defending Trump. That's fine from, debate point of view. And yeah, so that's me. So I'm excited to be here. It's going to be good.
Sweet. Okay. Well, the first topic, as everyone knows, I told the chat as well, is who is the better presidential candidate. Dean, we'll start with you.
Oh, that's doing too much. I'll
Yeah,
check
sure.
it
So,
out.
I mean, obviously, I think that the
Now we're
better
getting into the
presidential candidate is Kamala Harris. But I just wanted to clarify with Nick. You said that you're not much of a Trump supporter.
I got to remember
so
to
are you
cut the
voting for
video
Trump?
off. And
No,
talk
I'm
about
not. I'm not going to vote
it.
for him.
Completely
Who are you
copyrighted
voting for?
again.
I'm not
Y'all can
voting.
check out.
Oh, okay. Holy
Hayden
shit.
Ross will kick
Well, I mean,
TikTok.
the reason I chose that topic was because, I thought that you were voting for Trump. I don't really see much use in it if you're
Yeah,
not
my
voting for Trump. I mean,
Well,
one
it's
could say
worthwhile
you should.
because I'll argue that people should. I'll just argue that Trump is better than. I think that Trump would be a better president, but I'm not going to vote for him.
Okay, yeah, sure.
So we could argue that.
Yeah, I guess we'll start there. I disagree. And,
Okay.
one of the main reasons why I disagree, we could come out of the gate swinging, is this economic policy. I think that, it's pretty clear, and we could probably both agree on this, that the average American should be doing better than they are today, and they should not be doing worse than they are today. Donald Trump's proposed economic policy will make the average American worse off with his tariffs, and then his TCJA for another 10 years disproportionately benefits rich people. It will also just add reckless spending to our debt. It'll inflate it even more than it is today. I think there's an estimate from the CBO putting that right at $5.8 trillion. He has no fucking plan how he's going to pay for it. Then we look over at Kamala Harris, okay? Her proposed tax policy so far is $2.4 trillion. She knows exactly how she's going to pay for it, and they're designed for 100 million American workers in the low and the middle class. And it's going to make them better off. Donald Trump's going to make them worse off. Argument's clear.
And I didn't mean 100
Okay,
people.
that's it.
Yeah.
It's just the economic
I'm not 100 people on the channel. The channel don't have 100 people on.
proposals. That's
I have had 100 people in it. It was only once though. It was on last Thanksgiving. There was like 120 people. And actually, on Twitch, there has been multiple times, and more recent, over 100 people on just Twitch. But a lot of them want me to stream the entire show, and a lot of it's on wrestling. If you go watch On Wrestling, when the live stream first starts up, On Wrestling on Twitch, there's like 120 people. But they taper away to like 5 or 4.
all
Because
you
I'm
got?
not showing the show. What? No.
They're being charged with attempted murder and rape, and they're only 9 and 10 years old.
Well, I mean,
They ripped her hair off of them.
if the action fits the crime,
They raped her with sticks.
yeah, it's just retarded. I don't, and the parents need to be looked into. Honestly.
We can start there. I mean,
Okay.
sure, we
Well,
can
let's-
reference other
let's-
things too. I didn't.
What the fuck were the parents doing? Where were the parents? 9 and 10-year-olds against 5-year-olds? Where the fuck were the parents?
want
Yeah.
to just
That's-
throw everything at you at once. We could
Sure,
talk
well-
about multiple things.
They're the ones that
Yeah,
need to
well,
be
let
looked
me
into.
address all that. I mean, so with regard to the tariffs, JD Vance pointed this out. The Biden administration continued many of the Trump era tariffs So that's kind of a moot point. I mean,
Not
I
at
don't
all,
know
not
if
at all.
Kamala's going to. Oh, of course he did. Of course he continued.
No, they
the
continued the
on
tariffs,
China.
but it's not a moot point. I disagree with the Biden Harris administration because they continued the tariffs on China. But what Donald Trump is proposing today is a 10 to 20% flat tariff on all goods imported into the country, right? I could say that any and all tariffs are bad, right? But a 10 to 20% flat tariff on all goods is worse than tariffs on goods imported from China.
I don't think it's a flat tariff. Is that actually the policy? I don't believe that's right.
It is, right? I think that JD Vance was talking about this last night at
so.
debate. I think you could reference his own policy. He's talked about it multiple times in the past. If you don't think this is...
It's only on certain countries. There would be no 15. That doesn't make any sense. There'd be no 15 to 20% tariff. But even if that were the case, fine. Let's say for the sake of argument, that's true, because I don't know the Trump policy. They keep saying that Trump is going to put in place, they're calling it a consumption tax. A consumption tax is value added tax. They're saying it's going to be like a sales tax. And that's the idea that the taxation occurs at the point of a sale of goods. And that's actually a real proposal, but that's different than a tariff because, and here's the difference. When you put a tariff on goods and services, to call that a consumption tax is to imply that the consumer will bear the full cost of the tariff. And that's not necessarily true. Trump had a lot of tariffs in his first term, and the price of goods did not significantly increase in spite of the tariffs. Everybody says that it would only be the case if the full cost of the tariff was passed down to the consumer, but that flies in the face of the fact that foreign corporations will bear the cost of the tariff. Or almost
What you talking about? Your ass is still here.
Almost all of it. And certainly not all of it is passed down to the consumer. So that's just not true. That's one. Two, with regard to deficit spending, tax policy, I mean, you know, I know you're a young guy and everything, but like Republicans and Democrats, there's a bipartisan consensus on spending. Let's just talk about spending. Most of the spending on an annual basis is not even discretionary. Okay, there's mandatory spending and there's discretionary spending. Mandatory spending means you can't change it. Okay, the executive doesn't change it, Congress can barely change it, and that is liabilities like Social Security, Medicare. It's baked into the cake. It's a vast majority of it. And who is going to cut entitlements? Nobody. Republicans aren't proposing to cut entitlements, although they'd be more willing to than Democrats. Democrats are certainly not touching entitlements. Biden always attacks Republicans in his State of the Union, saying they're trying to touch Social Security. What do you think's driving the deficit of the debt? It's Social Security and Medicare. It's unfunded liabilities. In terms of military spending has gone up.
I ain't even going to respond to that dumbass comment.
Every year under the Biden administration, it's like $850 billion per year. That's the largest item in the discretionary budget. So mandatory spending is going to go up in perpetuity under Democrats and Republicans. Discretionary spending is going to go up because military is by far and away the biggest component of that, and Biden spends more. And he spends more on military appropriations because of all the foreign aid. We gave $175 billion to Ukraine. We gave $27 billion to Israel, another $8 billion to Israel last week, $7 billion to Taiwan, $1.3 billion to Egypt. That's in addition to the $850 billion per year, which that's like the highest ever under Biden. So, you know, spending's not coming down under anybody.
Okay, well, that's just wrong. I'm sorry for interrupting you. You can reference the
What's wrong about it?
That spending didn't go down under Biden and Harris compared to Trump. You could reference a committee.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Budget. You said that spending wasn't going down under anyone, right? We can make a comparative analysis between the two last terms, and we could show how it's gone down. A committee for a responsible federal budget indicated that Donald Trump signed $8.7 trillion of debt into law. Meanwhile, Biden and Harris only signed in 4.6. I mean, we could break that down into COVID and non-COVID. Like, for instance, Trump signed $4.8 trillion of non-COVID related expenditures into law. Meanwhile, Biden only signed in $2.2 trillion. But the first point that you made, I wanted to touch on that. You were talking about the tariffs, right? You just kind of related it back to how, like, the Kamala Harris campaign is calling it, you know, like a sales tax. And then that's kind of all you said. Yeah, I don't really care what they're calling it. I agree. That's just a term that they use to convince the average American that doesn't know much about what a tariff is, that it's really bad. But at the end of the day,
do you want to be here or not?
Impact of the tariff, right, still does serve as a detriment to the consumer. And you were very careful with your words here, because you told me that tax, right, that tariff isn't fully paid by the consumer, implicitly kind of conceding there that some of it is. right? And that's what I'm talking about. That is a tax that in some sorts is passed off to the consumer. We could also consider other attributes, such as the idea when we reduce the overall supply of a good with a constant demand, the price will go up. That's basic macroeconomics. That's going to happen when we reduce the imported the amount of imported goods without increasing the amount of like supply manufactured here at home in the U.S. At the end of the day, tariffs are bad. This is a unilateral, agreed upon consensus. Republicans and Democrats alike. You go to any economist, they'll tell you this, unless they don't have the necessary qualifications to be, and that's a fact. And then when we kind of consider these tariffs alongside his policy disproportionately benefiting the rich man and seemingly at the expense of the poor man with these tariffs, it becomes quite clear. If we want to serve to the average American in their best interests, we need to be voting for Kamala Harris because her policy does exactly that.
What policy? She didn't have a fucking policy.
I mean,
Okay.
83% of the tax
That's just
cuts in the
rhetoric.
TCJA. Not at all. 83% of the tax cuts in the TCJA for the last 7
The only reason why he can only debate against Donald Trump's policies were because he doesn't have a policy for Kamala Harris to back up. He just doesn't like what Donald Trump's doing.
years went to the top 1%. I mean, is that just rhetoric?
Okay,
I mean,
so my turn?
go for it, sir.
Okay, so with regard to tariffs, yes, some of the cost is passed down to the consumer, but it's marginal. And the point of tariffs is to reshore manufacturing. I'll give you a perfect example. China has now become the largest manufacturer of electric cars. Huge industry. You could buy an electric car in China for $10,000. Tesla does not cost $10,000. If we allow China to dump their electric cars in America, there goes Tesla. There goes our American electric car manufacturing. It's a national security problem. There's a lot of problems. You have to put tariffs on the cars. Probably China will send them here regardless because they're still so cheap. And yeah, they're not going to be $10,000, but there's a value in making cars in America. There's a value, and by the way, because then Americans get those jobs. So, you could say that free trade creates the lowest costs, but the only reason it creates the lowest costs is because they can undercut us with wages and with their lower standard of living and monetary policy that they have in their own country. So tariffs are essential for a holistic understanding of the economy. The increase in prices is marginal. It's not significant. And when you call it a consumer tax or a sales tax, that does matter because they're conflating that with a VAT tax. That's very different. The 15, 20% and I don't know that they're doing it.
Yeah, but this ain't going to be the only thing that I react to. I might react to a second part of this because I'm not going to finish this. I'm going to stop it at where our video has already watched, which is like in the middle. It's right about here. Where's it start? It starts right about here. This is about where we started watching the video. And then that goes on for about 20 something minutes. And then we'll be starting the video back up. On the next stream, I will finish this video. So in this area, at the 126 mark. That's what I'm doing. I'm gonna end it at this part here, where we already watched. I'm not gonna watch past that, and then I'm gonna make it in the next live stream. I may do one Saturday and do the second part of it. So I'm gonna have to retitle this video though when I actually send it out. But that's besides the point. That's not a big deal.
On every country, so I'll take your word.
That's the algorithm up. So next time I got to make sure I title the video right, so that it has the searching points in it from the start, not from after I post it and retitle it. But we'll get it right.
For it, it's not going to be passed down to consumers beyond a marginal amount. That's one. In terms of, you said, oh well, Trump had more deficit spending. Almost all of that is accounted for by the pandemic. Almost all of it. When you say, well, the Trump had a $8 trillion deficit, that was because of the COVID stimulus, the PPP, the cash payments.
Half of it.
Almost all of it. And here's the point.
Go to CRBF.org.
Hang on. I'll let you finish.
Yes, sir.
You said, so the structural problems with deficit spending, they're there under Trump. They're there under Harris. And by the way, Republicans tried to get limitations on the deficit. That's what they got elected on. Republicans regained control of Congress in 22, saying they'd limit the deficit. They negotiated it over the debt ceiling negotiations last year. They negotiated it over military appropriations last year with the October 1st deadline. Tried to negotiate it this year. Democrats wouldn't come to the table on deficit reduction. Either way, like the deficit is baked into the cake, okay? The debt is $30 trillion. Interest rates are high. Interest to service the debt is going up. Neither Harris or Trump is meaningfully going to reduce the debt or the deficit. So it's just moot. Without bringing down Social Security and Medicare, just forget about it. Without bringing down the military, it's not going to happen. You know, and there are these extraordinary measures like COVID and
You need to go to bed.
Ukraine war. It's really neither here nor there. Also, I mean, I think deficit is really besides the point. If you want to get further into
First
the
time
deficit,
I've heard a
though,
Republican say that, by the way.
yeah, well, I'm not a normal Republican. I'm not like a fiscal conservative. Okay, look,
Do you mind if I respond
the
to the points that you made
deficit.
so far?
What's that?
Do you mind if I respond to the points that you've made so far?
Yeah,
I just
go
wanna
ahead.
lose track of what you said.
Sure.
So, like, first of all, you
Wait,
said
but
that
real
you-
quick, Dean, I'm not cutting you off. Guys, we just have 10
Yeah, you
minutes on
are.
this topic. Just 10 more
Hey,
minutes
Dean. I'm not cutting you off, but I'm going to cut you off.
on this topic. Go ahead, Dean.
Okay.
Okay, right. So the first claim that you made, that tariff isn't passed off to the consumer, yeah, that's wrong. Because what would the point of the tariff be then? Okay, we see an increase in domestic production given tariffs because that is passed off to the consumer. Would you agree there?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, so
The
then why
point-
do we
the
see
point
an
of the
increase in
tariff-
domestic production given tariffs?
Because when you produce something in China, you can make it for cheaper, so your margin is bigger, so you can undercut
But you make
prices.
it more expensive for the consumer at the grocery store by imposing those tariffs, right? And then
Not
secondly, I
necessarily.
agree with you.
Again,
Okay.
because the China will pay the tariff to get their goods to the market because they
But then
need
why
access
won't
to
we
the
buy it?
market.
But then why won't we buy it? Because it costs more money, right? And that's
Yeah,
my whole
well, we're-
argument is that tariffs cause the end consumer to pay more at the grocery store, to pay more at Best Buy, to pay more at the car dealership.
Do you know
But
what a
there's
tariff
another point that
is?
you brought up there. It's a tax on an import. And there's another point that you brought up there about how we want to like spur domestic production of goods. I don't disagree. I absolutely agree. We should have a more industrialized economy where we produce goods here at home in America. We just disagree on how we get there, right?
How we get there
support-
without tariffs?
yeah, sure. Right, by driving further competition through the natural
about
market.
it.
We do that
Don't
via
worry about it right
investment.
What's
we do
the
that by
natural market?
We do that by investing in money. Investing in money. That was crazy. Investing in U.S. producers of goods, like the Chips and Science Act under Biden and Harris's administration, that invested billions of dollars into U.S. chip producers to further drive competition, right, with those imported goods, just via innovation in the product, right? And the fact that you, as a conservative, are sitting here telling me that we need a government to impose a regulation on the free market by tariffing those goods that are being imported to our country, is
Yeah.
just new. You know what I mean?
Drop it.
Yeah,
Right?
well, it
And
may be new to you because like your only context of Republican is like Reagan. But if you go back to Henry Clay and Friedrich List and the American system, Alexander Hamilton, the
Yeah, he sounds like somebody I don't really care for watch.
country was basically funded by tariffs until we had an income tax.
Yeah, do you know
Okay,
why?
we only had an
I don't care to watch a lot of Dean Withers' points because I think a lot of his arguments that he claims is logic just goes against what your common sense tells you. So I think he's missing a lot of common sense in a large margin of his arguments. So I couldn't even really want to talk to him unless he'd want to start making some common sense.
income tax 100 years ago. Before that, the federal government made its money from tariffs. And
Yeah,
by
but
the way,
you know
it's
why?
just basic mercantilism because
I'm honestly kind of surprised that Nick Fuentes even debated him. Like, I didn't think he was on Nick Fuentes' level. I've seen him, but no, I don't have any. And it's too late. It's nighttime, boy. You don't get candy at nighttime. I don't have chips. Well, they're in the closet.
Okay.
we want to make the stuff. And by the way, when you say, well, we're just going to invest, it doesn't work. China's dollar goes 3 times as far because the standard of living is lower. They're rich and
You mean Disney? Disney is the king of these people?
raw materials. They have an endless supply of labor, cheap labor. The idea you're going to chips and sciences your way out of China having systemic advantages, economic factors of production like labor. They have 1.5 billion people. You're not going to pass a bill that's going to change those fundamental imbalances in the economy. We
Then
have
how about we meet
capital,
in the
we
middle?
have tech, we
Then
have
how about we meet in the
entrepreneurship,
middle?
they have labor.
Then
Okay,
how about
it's
we
the
meet in the
same
middle?
reason.
You need
Hang
one.
on, and it's the same reason why we're even when we try to they call it friend shoring. We're going to take our factories from China and give them to our allies like Philippines. It's still going to China because they have all the cheap labor. You just can't compete with that. You can't agree that we should reindustrialize. You literally cannot do that unless you protect industry. And by the way, China has tariffs too. All countries have tariffs. We're the country that doesn't have tariffs. They're eating our lunch as a result.
I don't know any of these liberal debaters. I don't give them a lot of my attention.
So, you know.
Because I think a lot of their arguments are all based out of delusion, like in idiocracy.
That's just not true. What you're saying isn't true.
It's like they only believe propaganda.
No, Donald Trump's taken away the average Americans.
I mean, come up with some facts. Like, obviously, tariffs are going to fucking affect the consumer, but they're not meant to be a long-term problem. They were never designed to be a long-term issue.
Lunch as a result. Like, once again, we've already went over how tariffs can cause prices at the grocery store to go higher. Every single time we've historically increased tariffs on China, what have we seen? A reduction in U.S. agricultural exports. What did Trump have to do when he imposed his tariffs on China? He had to bail out American farmers with $28 billion. You say you want American industrialization. You say you want more U.S. production of goods. But then you also say that you want these tariffs on China to absolutely destroy American farmers. And you want the average American to be worse off, meaning they have less economic mobility to go and start a business in the first place. This is why Kamala Harris's tax policy is better, right? Because
what
we're
not
like going to
Democrat talking points.
Okay, well, can you dispute them?
Yeah, like I said, tariffs, the other country will pay the cost of the tariff. Okay, you're saying consumers will pay it, and that's just wrong. Okay,
so you
under
don't
the
think that
Trump administration, hang on, I'll give you a perfect example. Trump administration implemented tariffs against Canada, against Europe, against China. Inflation was low. Well, hang on. Inflation was like 1.3% under Trump. Okay, so if what you're saying is true, that the cost of the tariff would be passed down to the consumer 1-to-1 or even significantly, inflation would not remain at or around 1%.
Point, a very
with the
crucial point
quantitative
here.
easing.
If they don't cause inflation of the pricing of goods at the grocery store, then why would we see an increase in domestic production?
Because it will make it competitive for America to make the same things.
How?
If China, because it's basic math. If it costs I'm going to, if you stop interrupting me. If it costs less to make something in China because they have abundant labor than it does in the United States, then China can sell it.
It's questionable labor. They should have an abundance because it's questionable labor. They got a lot of labor laws that are child labor laws
at a lower price because their cost is lower. But if we make them pay more to bring their goods to the market, then they have to sell it for more, or they have to pay the tariff and they make less profit.
Nick,
and that
you
makes
just
it
agreed with me.
profitable for American companies to make. Can you stop interrupting me? Can you?
Chinese products cost more.
Can you stop interrupting me, please?
Sure.
It adds, but who pays the cost? China pays the cost to bring it to the market, not the consumer.
And who pays the cost once it's in the market?
Well, the consumer does.
Thank you.
But they're buying. But they're buying what they're already buying. They're just buying it from an American producer.
Yeah, for a higher price, right?
Yeah, so for a slightly marginally higher price, so we can have American production.
Okay. Yes,
but there's also economies of scale.
Thank you.
It stimulates American industry, and then America's able to produce what China would ordinarily produce.
Okay. All right. In America.
All right. So you can buy a car in China for $10,000, but when that car comes over to America, those aren't $10,000. Honda, all them cars that come over there, they're not cheap.
Will produce it.
Even if they're cheap over there, it doesn't make them cheap over here anyways. So we're already paying a high cost on them.
For
So they're already making money. So where they're going to lose money is where they have to pay the tariff difference from that like 10,000 to what we already pay. If that's already a margin, it's different. They're only paying a portion of that margin, so it either takes away all of their fund, all of their RPO, or whatever. I don't know what I'm talking about, but all of their return, then it eats up all of their return, and it maybe cost a slightly margin more for the consumer. But is that margin going to be that much different? I'm sure more companies will. I'm pretty sure there was other ones that also said they were coming, if I'm not wrong. Other companies said that they were going to bring manufacturing over to here as well. Because they were talking about bringing some to Detroit to try to get the automotive back in Detroit. I know that.
For a more expensive price because we don't have a.
We already pay a more expensive price than what you would pay in China for that car. So their difference is in between the cost of what we already pay and what they can make their money from because of how cheap their cars are there. They already pay a cost for it to be shipped over here and everything else. Like we don't in China, obviously they're going to get it cheaper because it's manufactured there. And that cost could drop for the American consumer over here over time. That's why I said tariffs were never meant to be a long-term solution.
Cheap of labor as
it protects the American industry, which
by
is
causing inflation, right? Can you agree with me there?
Marginal. It's marginal.
Marginal increases.
But either way,
we're getting somewhere.
But it's really neither here. Well, and I said that earlier. So he's
been saying marginal increase the whole time. Like he's acting like Nick Fuentes wasn't saying marginal increase to start off this debate. That would be actually wrong. Can I move my image on my screen? I wish I could move where I was. I would move me up so at least you could see their whole title here, or their whole title here. I would move my camera up on the screen to up here. But I don't know how to do that on YouTube. Maybe in edit. Let me see. I don't think it's in edit though. Customization. Yeah, no, it's not in there. Setting. Default. No. All right. Well, I see how to do something else on here. I'll figure that out off screen.
the same thing. But either way, the Biden administration has tariffs too. So it's basically a moot point.
No, it's not a moot point because
you disagree with the Biden administration's policy, right?
Absolutely, right.
Okay,
I do disagree with tariffs.
What are we even arguing about? Trump had tariffs. Biden has tariffs.
Tariffs.
Fucking old rebuilt Dodge. That's what Ford is. It's a fucked over rebuilt Dodge.
Protect industry in America. You support that.
No, so the reason that this is the reason that this is a bad argument is because Trump wants more tariffs, right? I don't understand how this isn't evidently clear. I think what you're trying to do is kind of confuse people.
Don't be scared, Noah. Don't be scared.
Between me saying that tariffs that Biden and Harris imposed were bad, and
I'm not a Ford fan. Obviously, y'all know I'm a Dodge person, so Carnage is going to talk shit about Dodge because I'm a Dodge person. But whatever, I don't care. It's still an American company. They do also merge with other companies that aren't, like Mitsubishi, shit like that. But like, you can go buy a Dodge Stratus and it's going to have a Mitsubishi motor in it. But Ford's also been in debt with for many times and never had to pay their debt back. Dodge paid their debt back.
Me saying that when Donald Trump is elected, he wants to impose all tariffs on all imported goods. Right? One is worse than another. Okay, so
they're not putting tariffs on all imported goods.
Okay, does he just want to keep the ones on China?
It's going to be on. I don't know the Trump policy, but it's not on all imported goods. That's just
Okay,
a
so then how
Democrat
is he going to
lie.
pay for the $4.8 trillion associated
You can
with his
fact
tax
check
cuts?
that.
Then how is he going to pay for
Borrowing,
from
like they
it?
pay for all, like how they pay
Borrowing
for
from- borrowing from the
175
Treasury?
billion to
And what's
Yeah.
the biggest expense of our government?
liabilities.
Liabilities? No, it's interest on
Medicare,
debt.
Social Security. That's totally wrong.
No, the biggest expense of our federal government is interest on debt.
Totally wrong.
Okay, I don't think that's wrong. In
It's
fact, I think that is
liabilities.
totally correct.
Okay, we're wrapping
Okay.
up on time here. Let's we'll give a.
Well, you're
closing
wrong on the
statement.
Trump policy and you're wrong on spending.
Okay,
You're
we'll give a
just
1
wrong.
minute closing to
You're just wrong. You're just wrong. You just don't know.
Dean started, so we'll a 1 minute closing for Dean and then 1 minute for Nick.
Oh, you
Yeah, you mean like Ford, who don't pay their loans back? Yeah. Let someone loan money from you. Oh, that's right. You won't give money away to nobody. Because you already don't trust the people because of people like Ford. That's right. We know.
could go first, Nick.
They don't like to pay their debt.
Who gave the first opening statement? You or me?
It was
At least we
Dean
found
started
out.
first.
Yeah, so Dean, we want
Oh.
to let Nick finish.
That means I go last. That means I go last.
I ain't taking nothing away from his history, Noah. I'm talking about his financial situation. When you borrow millions of dollars from the government and then you never pay them back, and
Dean, you start.
from the
And then
bank,
Dean, the next one, Nick will start.
fucks the market up.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's fine. I was just looking first, so I should justify what I said there. So yeah, my closing statement would just be, right, obviously I think that economic policy is a very prime reason to vote for Kamala Harris because she's going to make the average American better off. Donald Trump is not going to make the average American the better off. He's going to make them worse off with his tariffs. Right. Nick essentially did concede there, saying that tariffs do cause higher prices for the consumers at the grocery store. And then Nick also just kind of says that he doesn't really
It's retarded. That's a retarded statement. You borrow the money, you pay the money back, or you don't borrow the money.
care about debt. Okay, so
True.
If you want more debt, vote for Donald Trump because he's going to throw $5.8 trillion on our nation's debt. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris's proposed tax policy is going to be self-sufficient over the 10-year lifespan of the bill. And then one other final point here: there's much more reasons why Kamala Harris is a better candidate than Donald Trump that we didn't get a touch on, such as the fact that we probably shouldn't be voting for a rapist. We probably shouldn't be voting
For a rapist. All right, so show me the argument where he was actually charged with rape, because there is no charge. He was ever charged with rape, and the person that was accusing him of rape publicly liked to say that rape was sexy, doesn't remember when it happened, doesn't remember nothing about it happening, but wants to accuse him of it. He was never charged with this rape there, sir. Stop using something that he wasn't charged with as your fucking leading point on why not to pick somebody. And a lot of these charges that were brought up against him were people that were placing people to say things about him because the people that wanted to say it couldn't say it themselves because they were the other side of the political party, and they would put things in place to make it hard. They would try to send these witch hunts of a sort. Now, I don't care about Ford no more. Now, Royal voted for Trump, dumbass. I never voted for Kamala once.
for a religious persecutor. We should probably be voting for the individual that's wants to try.
I don't think like the dude with the purple background. I don't share his thought process.
And federal protections
I share more of Nick Fuentes' thought process in this matter.
for all 170 million American women and girls' right to choose, right?
And in the other matter that we talked about as well.
And plenty of other reasons that we didn't get to, and I'm sad that we didn't, and hopefully we might be able to get back around to it later, but I'll go and get to you the rest of my time. Take it away.
Yeah, all right. Well, Aiden and Sneeko, could we do immigration? I feel like that's a big one. We could do a few of these other issues
real
'cause
quick,
it's
before
a big issue.
Can you just do your statement really quick?
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, can we make that one of the topics?
Well, that's something that we had to talk about prior. Dean, if you would like to as well, we could do that this next.
I'm definitely a conservative Christian. So why would I have voted for Kamala? One, she only put word salads together. You ask her a question, what are you going to do to help the economy? Well, I grew up in a middle-class house. Yeah, well, everybody kept their yards mowed. Yeah, very trusted neighborhood. Why would I listen to her for the word salads? She couldn't give you one fucking talking point to vote for. Why would I vote for that bitch? A woman who literally slept her way to her position. She slept her way to her position. Like, why would I vote for her again? as a conservative Christian blue collar person, come on.
Can you repeat that? I was a
He
little
wants to
together.
talk about immigration. If you want to keep Trump or
Get your
Kamala
shit
going, we have other
together.
subjects, but on the
Obviously,
subject of
don't
Trump
know.
and Kamala.
You guys didn't
How'd
agree to
you
that
know?
prior, but if you guys want to agree to do an immigration, we can do that next. It's up to you guys. Both of you have to agree.
Yeah, you just want to see. I mean, like maybe we could throw it in there at the end. I mean, get through before topics we have agreed upon.
Sure.
And if there's time.
I honestly think Kamala and Biden were trying to sabotage the presidency because they knew they weren't going to get it. They knew Trump was going to get it by what they were doing with the shit they had going on with Russia and fucking Ukraine. The shit that he was trying to start off before Trump could even get in office, that he would have to come in and correct right away instead of focusing on the shit that he wanted to do. He now has to fix this fucking issue that they're creating. Why would I have voted for someone like that?
We might be able to talk about it.
Okay. So please give your closing statement, Nick.
Yeah, so I mean, my closing statement on Trump, I don't even think
I think Trump is too. Trump is too. Didn't he like to grab him? Come on now.
fiscal policy is the biggest issue. To me, that's really a side issue.
You telling me Trump ain't? Okay.
And the reason is because both parties are profligate spenders. Republicans, Democrats are both profligate
You just sound like an idiot.
spenders. Bush,
Trying to make children laugh.
Obama, Trump, Biden, they're all huge spenders. They're huge spenders on the military. They're not touching liabilities. You know, there's talk about tax cuts, increasing the deficit. You can look at the Laffer curve and, you know, debate whether that's really the case. I mean, the theory behind tax cuts is that it stimulates economic growth, which it certainly does. It brings in more tax revenue. Maybe you find that convincing. Maybe you don't. Point is, neither party's going to rein in the deficit. I just don't think it's an issue. In terms of tariffs, the consensus has changed. Democrats and Republicans used to be free traders. They're not anymore. Bill Clinton, Bush, Obama were free traders. They're just not anymore. Trump is not a free trader. Biden's not a free trader. Trump has tariffs. Biden has tariffs. And that's because there's a recognition.
Every other country already has tariffs on America.
That we need to
try shipping other American goods to these other countries and tell me we ain't already paying higher taxes on that shit. They had tariffs on us. What the fuck's the difference?
Have a supply chain in America. 85% of the economy in America is services. Only 50%.
Try to go and establish a business in China without the CCP taking complete control of it. Won't happen.
15% is construction, agriculture, and manufacturing. And this is a big, it's not only a national security issue, but it's also a jobs issue. We need to make...
Royal didn't vote in 2016. Royal didn't vote until this previous election.
Stuff in America, the only way that we're going to beat these other countries that are under...
The Republicans, over the years, the thought process and the ideology of the Republicans and the Democrats, all of the politicians will tell you, kind of rotated. And it's kind of weird because it rotated in a false sense. It rotated in a false sense because it used to be the Democrats that were considered a lot more to be racist in those manners. And then for that ideology to switch, they are still that ideology. They just pretend not to be and accuse the other party of it. That's all it is. They didn't really switch. They still hold that fucking same ideology. They just deny it and then blame the other party for it. So they didn't really. All right, go. Good night. Love you. They didn't actually switch. How is that false? Tell me where it was false. Tell me. It's a pretend switch.
Cutting us with wages is with tariffs.
They still hold their same ideology. You telling me Biden's comments from the previous years weren't of the racist, and then he wanted to go pretend not to be a racist and point the finger at somebody else and call them a racist when they have no history of being a racist. Actually has done more for the economy of black people than Biden ever has. Where am I false? Where am I false? Carnage, point it out.
Tariffs to protect our industries. And yes, that does result in technically marginally higher consumer prices, but it's more important to have good jobs in industry.
And I'm sure that's what he means by he's just saying random stuff. He's saying good night, love you. I already told you good night, love you. Chill out, boy. You have a soda before bed? Hey. That's where I think Walt is talking about the party's switching. I'm not worried about a German leader right now. I care about America. Fuck the other shit right now.
All right, that was good. So we'll circle back to Trump and Kamala, but to keep it on the subject, we have 4 very different topics right now.
Real quick before, I just want to say thank you both for giving you guys, you guys are very letting each other talk and stuff. Thank you. I appreciate that. Go ahead, Sneeko. I'm sorry to cut you off.
All right, so the next subject that we agreed upon was Christianity, but to make it interesting, Nick, we can be more specific. We could talk about Christian nationalism.
Sure.
Okay, so the subject will be, is Christian nationalism good or bad? And
okay. I told you he had 7:30.
Let's do 3-minute intro. I'll give you a 1-minute warning, and then I'll give Dean a 3-minute intro, and then we'll go free flowing. Then if it's interruptions, we'll time it. But I think it was good so far. But Nick, take the floor. 3 minutes.
Okay. Well, I believe that America should have a religious government. We should have a Christian Catholic government. And, we have to face the fact that liberalism has failed. And the best example that liberalism is failing is that we're not having enough kids. The society, the civilization that doesn't have kids will cease to exist, and it will lose. And it is losing. Liberalism around the world is receding. And
big fact.
These more ancient, tribal, perennial cultures are thriving. Islam is the fastest growing religion. China is on the rise. Tribalism, racialism, all these things, all these revanchist.
Muslim is on the rise too. And
historic ideologies are on the rise. And they're all beating back liberalism because liberalism is weak. It is ineffectual. It's causing all kinds of perversity, degeneracy. People are not having kids. It's just sort of like anti-human and inimical to the human body. So, I mean, in addition to Catholicism and Christianity being true, liberalism is clearly bankrupt. Liberalism is clearly having a hard time. I think we should replace our state religion of liberalism with the state religion of Christianity. And I'm interested to see where Dean wants to take it, because obviously it's a huge topic, but I think we should have a Catholic country, not a liberal atheist one.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of different ways that a conversation about Christian nationalism can go. I mean, I've debated people on Christian nationalism before that will concede even if Christianity's false, right? We should still be, a country that upholds Christian nationalism because it promotes better outcomes. But I think there's a couple points there that you made. I'd just like to respond to
sure,
about declining birth rates.
And you should have done that comment there.
That's crazy. Then about, a couple of the other points that you brought up. I particularly think that Christian nationalism is bad because it doesn't allow us to effectively legislate. Given the Christian religion, right, we are led to believe that particular things are wrong because God said so. You said that you're a Catholic. I think in the Catholic faith, you'll kind of have different range on how bad things are. Something can be a mortal sin, a venial sin. But something that I'd say here that is a very absurd conclusion given Christian nationalism is shit like blasphemy. So blasphemy as defined by the Bible is the worst sin that anyone can commit. Does that mean that people should go to jail for life for blasphemy? Well, I don't know, because we know that people should go to jail for life for murder. And if blasphemy is worse than murder, and we're operating under a system in a society with a government that legislates on the basis of the Bible and these foundational beliefs as prescribed by Christianity, are we going to start sending people to jail for blasphemy too? I don't see how you'd be able to respond to that. I don't. And then a couple other things that we could say here. The Bible promotes very harmful, bad beliefs. I mean, 1 Samuel 15:3, God tells Saul and his men to genocide the Amalekite men, women, and girls. I bet if I was to engage in a conversation with this guy specifically about 1 Samuel 15:3, he'll end up saying that sometimes genocide's okay. Leviticus 25 verses 44 through 46. God tells the Israelites that they can own the non-Israelites as human property for life. I bet if I was to have a conversation with this guy about that topic, he'd end up saying that no, slavery hasn't always been wrong, alongside other things. Right? So we could talk about how Christianity is false. We could talk about how it doesn't allow us to effectively legislate. We could talk about the absurdities that are already present in the Bible. But one last point that I'd like to bring up is if you're going to make an argument on the basis of the efficacy and the outcomes in which it would generate in society, which seemingly you started to there, well, what if we find another religion that generates better outcomes than the one that you hold to?
1 minute.
Okay, so the reason that you want a Christian nation.
What kind of outcome are you trying to uphold to with these different religions? What is your outcome with them?
Is because it will promote human well-being and happiness. People are going to be having more kids and following these commandments. They'll be doing good. No degeneracy, none of that shit. Well, what if I told you that the LDS church had even better outcomes than the Catholic Church? Would you all of a sudden be in support of an LDS-led state? Probably not. Okay, right? So that's another contradiction on its own. So feel free to
he just just related a cult. Did he not just relate a cult to the Christian?
Pick and choose there. Respond to the point that you want. Take it away.
Is the LDS not a cult? I think that was very cultish. They locked their people into fenced areas. Like, you can only go here, and all your daughters have to sleep with me. Like, that was a cult. That wasn't a religion. That was not a
you said
religion.
about birth rates or immigration. Well, here's the problem. Okay, one, the people that have liberalism.
That was one man that created something and had a whole bunch of people believing him. There's many of those situations in the world where people have followed someone that didn't have their best interest at mind.
Are killing themselves. Okay, so the people that invented liberalism, that live in liberal societies, literally and figuratively are killing themselves. They're committing suicide. They're
Well, the
dying.
guy that you
despair.
worship
Okay, are
literally
you going to
killed
interrupt me like 30 seconds into my rebuttal? That's crazy. No confidence in liberalism. They commit suicide. They die from desert despair. They're addicted to drugs, all kinds of things. They're all dying over there. Okay, we're dying in America. We're dying in Europe. And by the way, these people come from non-liberal or illiberal societies, and then their birth rate goes down. So even if you wanted to argue, oh, well, like, we could salvage liberalism with an endless supply.
A vote is a vote, but you are influenced by generally by people that you're around. It tends to have a pretty big influence on what you persuade in how you vote.
Of immigration from illiberal societies that have kids, when they get here, their birth rate goes down. And these are not liberal people.
But I think personally, honestly, I think the left and the right both need to be abolished. It needs to be a centered where the people need to come together, because unfortunately we have other issues in America. The people of America need to come together and stop worrying about left and right and come together, find common ground, to come together to throw off the government, to get our government to stop being occupied, so that our government can have a America first mindset, or the America people first mindset, because that is not the mindset of our government, of its current state, because of its supporters, its bankroll. It may lead to a revolutionary war in America with the people versus the government. Now, it may have to be. But the battle doesn't have to be with the American people. We the people need to be we the people. The problem isn't necessarily the people. That's what everybody wants us to do, is fight against each other. They want us to fight against each other so that they can go push these different laws and different regulations all they want behind closed doors. Because that's what the real problem is. It's them that are dictating the division between us people.
Come from illiberal places like China or Africa or Latin America. They come here, they assimilate, and within a few generations, the birth rate goes down because liberalism is suicidal. With regard to the question about efficacy and outcomes, I'm not arguing that we should have the religion with the best efficacy. I said liberalism has failed, and we know it's failed because it's committing suicide. So clearly, liberalism as a system is not working. And that's why, it's such a radical notion. People think that we would have blasphemy laws or religious laws. They think it's a radical notion. It's unthinkable. The current system must be replaced. It's an imperative. It's not a question of, whether or how or anything.
No, Royal wants to fight the government to get the agencies that should have been registered as foreign agencies a long time ago, when JFK tried to push for it, to sign to be foreign agencies, that they need to sign to be documented on how their income is influenced on American politics and American governors and senates. 93 out of 100 senates are sponsored directly from AIPAC. And who runs AIPAC? Like, come the fuck on. Our problem is there. And they're the ones that are dividing the people to make us be against each other. The problem ain't left and right. The problem is above left and right. You got to go further than that. You got to go further than the surface to find the problem. You got to go much further than the surface to find the problem. And yes, Trump is influenced by China. I mean, not by China, by Israel.
Like that, it simply must be because it will cease to exist. And so that's really the crux of the argument. You know, why it should be Catholicism, it's because Catholicism is true. But the point I'm trying to make is for people that say, it's so radical that we would go backwards. I would say we went backwards with liberalism as evidenced by the fact that it's not even reproducing itself. And that's a huge problem. With regard to the stuff about the Old Testament, I mean, look, the Catholic Church, Christians today are not in favor of genocide or slavery. You know, if you want to get into that, this is just like new atheism 101. To like, are you an atheist? Let me just, are you an atheist or something?
I'm an agnostic, but
What do you mean, prove it? It's all over the place. Go look for it. You'll find it. It's there.
I wouldn't particularly use these verses in the Bible to say that your religion is false.
Go look up your senates and see how many of them are actually funded by, or how many of them take donations from AIPAC. Go look up how many of your senates in the Congress. You have 100 senates. How many of them take federal funding from AIPAC? How many of them? Go look yourself. I bet you're going to see that it's 93 out of 100. 93 out of 100. Trump is also taking money from Israel. What are you talking about? One of his biggest donors. Go look up who his biggest donors were. One of them was an Israel family that the husband has died. Trump hung a necklace on the wife's neck, or a pendant or whatever on her neck. Who the fuck do you think she is? He is also getting funding from them.
I use these verses in the Bible to say that your religion is
Look it up.
To say that your religion is false.
I just wanted to ask you that, and then let me finish the last point. So it's very funny when atheists.
Yes, I did vote for him. I don't agree with everything he says. I don't agree with everything any politician says. And half the time, the motherfuckers be lying to you to begin with. Now, Trump has done some of what he said he was going to do. He ain't done all of it. He's done what he's probably able to do based off the influence that is over our government.
Who have no objective source of morality. It's like, you know, their morality is something like, hey, man, just leave everybody alone. What if I disagree? What if my morality says, well, I want to kill everybody or something? What if the majority of people said our morality says, well, we want to harm and we want to rape and we want to do this and that? An atheist has no God that says, well, you know, so-and-so has the authority to say this is correct.
I'm emotional. What I am emotional about, and I do care about, is America being for American people first. Like other countries are for their people first, most places. Not all places. Obviously, there's definitely places that are not like that. It ain't a theory. It ain't a theory.
That's a problem. And yeah, they have a problem.
You can go look the proof up yourself. You're trying to detract from what I'm already doing, which then makes the video look like shit and be like shit because I might as well put no name on the title.
But blasphemy laws, it is good to have a God that is a source of authority, that gives us our morality, that is unquestionable.
You have the same goddamn internet that I have. You have the same goddamn search engines that I have. You can look them up. USA needs
with regard to the Old Testament, if you want to get into the debate about, I would start with the question of how do you know what's bad?
Hey, Nick, I'm sorry
You
to cut
claim
you
that
off.
certain
Nick,
things are bad. You don't
Y'all
know where
are
good and bad
disappointing
comes
at-
from.
at-
And how do we know the good and bad are even real? If we're all material, if we're only atoms and we don't have souls,
I'm gonna stop
why does it matter
responding to
what
any of
happens
that.
to any of us? I mean, what
Pay
is
attention to this video.
justice? Is there such a thing as the conceptual? If there is only matter, where is the conceptual? Can we see it? Can we feel it? Is it located
You want to
somewhere?
respond to this point?
Let's let Dean respond now.
And I'm making a point here. I'll wrap it up quickly. So for an atheist to point to the Old Testament and say, well, how could a God who does these things be so immoral? I would say to the godless, what is moral and who are we if we're not just stardust being rearranged? I mean, slavery, these things, these are conceptual. It can only exist with a real philosophical viewpoint, not with this kind of lame, like, Sky Daddy isn't real sort of stuff. So, there's just a lot of assumptions there that kind of need to be interrogated.
Okay, Dean.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think
before
what
you go,
needs to be
Dean.
interrogated is the fact that you asked me, well, what do I do with a group of people who likes to murder, rape, and kill others?
Aiden, you fucked the mic up on this one, Aiden.
What if God said that?
Then we
I
would
think
have
that's a
to do
question
it.
that we need to ask.
Then we would have to do it.
Wait, really? If God told you to rape and kill a baby, would you do it?
Maybe, Shroom. Maybe.
Well, God would never do that because
Maybe
God
do a
is good and
series.
those things are evil.
Okay, so raping and killing is evil. So when he commanded
What?
Maybe we can do a little docu-series on it.
Hey,
you
you
kill the
said
babies in
raping
Malachi in
babies.
1 Sam-
Are we great allies? Are we? We can't even accept gifts to the CIA from Israel because they're always bugged with listening devices. You can't even take gifts from them, but you trust them because they're your greatest allies. They lied to us about Iran making bombs of mass destruction. We bombed sites that had no evidence of that. We have Israel tied to the 9/11 where we had 5 Israel agents dancing on a roof that told the police that they were here to document the events. How did they know about the events? They're a part of every fucking U.S. travesty since probably the 50s. They're tied to it. Every fucking one of them. You can tie it back to them. But yet everything we've done has been for American people.
Samuel 15:3, that was evil?
God is telling us to rape and kill babies right now.
So specifically about killing, in 1 Samuel 15:3, he did command Saul and his men to kill the Amalekite babies.
Rape babies? He told them to rape babies?
No, to kill babies.
Well, yeah, then if I were one of those guys, I would have done it, but not rape them.
Okay, so if God commanded you to kill a baby today, would you do it?
Yes.
Okay, so why would you kill a baby but
Really
you
true?
wouldn't rape a baby?
Because that would be cruel or something.
Wait, is killing a baby not cruel?
In the Old Testament, it worked differently.
Yeah,
No, I'm
That's
talking
a
about
fallen world.
You particularly said that you would.
Hi, Strom. So this is Dean Withers, leftist. Nick Fuentes, rightist. Aiden Ross doesn't make up his mind or want to be anywhere. He doesn't know what he is. And I believe he is also a friend of Aiden Ross and Nick Fuentes, who does believe somewhat. I don't know what his beliefs are really either. I think he does agree more with Nick Fuentes' points, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Kill a baby today if God asked you, but you
If
wouldn't
God told us,
rape
yeah.
a baby if God asked you. So how come
Not
you kill a
rape.
baby today but not
You know who that is, Toxic.
rape a baby?
Because the context of the Old Testament is that it's a fallen world. And that's the context you're talking about. You said that in the Old Testament,
Dude, we're not
God
talking
said
about
to-
dude. Please
Hang
answer
on.
my
Yeah,
question.
we are.
This
We
is a
literally
damning
are.
non-answer.
Well,
You
if we're
told
not
me
talking about
today-
wait. If we're not talking about
Give
the
me
Old
30
Testament,
seconds.
what are we talking about?
About the fact that you told me today, if God commanded you to kill a baby, you would do it. And then I followed that up by asking you, if God commanded you to rape a baby, would you do it? And you said
God
no,
wouldn't do that because
that's
it's evil.
cruel. Okay, so killing a baby today, you would do if God commanded it, but raping a baby today, you wouldn't do because God wouldn't command it.
Well,
because
you
it's evil.
first of
Are you
all,
making the implication that killing
first
a
of
baby
all-
today isn't evil?
No. What you said is that in
Okay,
the
so
Old
then you
Testament.
wouldn't do that either, right?
Well, hang
This is
on.
seemingly a
Let's
contradiction.
rewind. Let's rewind because you said in the Bible God says to rape babies. Can you just
No, I
retract
said
that because
kill
that never
babies.
happened?
No,
No,
I
if you
said kill
rewind.
babies.
Yeah, okay. People can rewind the clip. You said kill and rape babies because you got and rape people
clear
because
this
you got
up
a
so
little
easily.
ahead of yourself because you got
Nick,
a little
we'll
ahead of
clear this up
yourself.
Nick,
that
I will
never
literally
happened.
clear this up so easily.
Okay.
If I said God commanded Saul and his men to rape babies in 1 Samuel 15:3, I misspoke. In 1
Okay,
Samuel
thank you.
15:3, God
Yeah.
commands Saul and his
But see,
men
that's
to
the
kill
problem.
babies. But you are not answering my question. This is a damning
am.
non-answer. Every single person watching the stream can see that you said if God commanded you to kill a baby today, you said you would do it. Can you affirm
Can we
that
be
fact?
serious? Can we be serious for a second?
We are being dead serious. Can you affirm the fact that you said if God told you to kill a baby, you do it?
Can we be serious? Can we grow up?
Why won't you answer my question?
Well, because we're talking about the Old Testament, are we not?
Dude, we're talking about today. How many times do I need to say that?
You're talking about the Old Testament. You're citing the Old Testament. You're talking about a specific verse in the Old Testament.
Oh my God,
you can look. You can giggle, but can we confirm that we're talking about the Old Testament? Is that correct?
That is
what are we
not
talking
correct.
about?
Exactly. I'll tell you exactly what we're talking about. We are talking about the fact that I asked you a damning hypothetical question. I asked you.
It's not. It's a
one
cheap,
moment. Do you mind if I have 30 seconds?
It's a cheap context. No. It's
you're
a cheap
interrupting me because
context
you don't want me to
denial.
talk because you know that you're losing.
Yeah, because the Old Testament says bad things in it. I know. I'm a new atheist, and I just discovered. Here's my answer to your question, if you allow me to answer it. I know you want a cheap gotcha question, but let's add a little context. The Old Testament takes place in a fallen world. We live in a fallen world because we have free will. Okay, God created human beings. Human beings disobeyed God and sinned. Because we disobeyed God and sinned, we have the penalty of death, war, shame, guilt, pain at birth, all these things. In the fallen world, people kill. In the fallen world, people kill, people lie, cheat, steal. Cain kills Abel. In the world, the fallen world, before Jesus Christ arrived, it was a world with slavery and warfare and iniquity. It is in this context that God commanded the chosen people to kill certain tribes to establish their survival, to secure a line for the coming of the Messiah. God does not approve of killing because it says in the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not kill. God does not approve of rape because it says, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, and so on and so forth. So God obviously does not support killing, raping. Oh, would you kill and rape a baby? No. But in the Bible, God prescribes laws and specific actions at the beginning of the.
That's why the Bible is up for interpretation, because people listen and read the Bible, and that's why you can't believe every pastor you hear either, too. Their interpretation of the Bible may be different than what you hear, but you gotta let God speak to you directly.
The world, which was fallen without Christ, without a Savior, in sin, for the survival of the chosen people. So the rule.
I have Shroom in my Discord, yeah. I don't know
worked
about
a little bit
having 24 access to me, Carnage.
Differently in the Old Testament.
You're enough to deal with in the streams.
Doesn't mean that, and of course, taking a life in and of itself, hang on, there's a difference everybody knows between killing and murder. If I go and murder you for no reason, that's immoral. If I kill in self-defense or self-defense of my children, it's a different story. God commanding the people of the Old Testament is an extraordinary exception based on the fallen old world. That's one. Two, when Jesus Christ arrives, he fulfills the law and saves people from hell. Before Jesus Christ arrived, nobody could even go to heaven, and it was a world of iniquity. And Jesus Christ changed and created this modern world that we're living in. So now here's the thing. God is the authority. If God commands us to, look, I know it's a complicated issue. You can't fit it into a TikTok where you do the Destiny drive-by to Trump's making your grocery prices higher. You know, but it's actually a complicated issue where you're talking about.
I hate that the audio switch that they just did on this. The audio switch is butchered.
I'm talking about evil. The existence
Fix it.
of evil. So
there we
does
go.
That mean that God is not an authority? Of course not.
Loud.
God is an authority. Would God command us to do those things today? Probably not. But if he did, in a hypothetical scenario, we'd have to trust God if we truly believe in God. Otherwise, you would say something like, we know more than God, or God is not good, or we're better than God, and that negates the concept of a God or good itself.
So you like to do is gaslight.
That's my answer to your, so when you say killing babies, it ties into like abortion policy. It's just like cheap, low IQ, left-wing bullshit. But anyway, go ahead.
All you give is
Cool,
hypocritical
thank you. So I hear everything that you just said. I will give that a great response. I sure did. But before I give that a response, I wanted to take a brief moment to go back to the question that I was attempting to get you to answer prior. I understand that you just kind of gave me the story of the Old and New Covenant. We had different rules before, the Messiah came back down, created the New Covenant, whatever. I get it. Thank you. Okay? But the question that I asked you was, if God commanded you to kill a baby, would you do it? You said yes. I then asked you, Nick Fuentes, if God commanded you to rape a baby, would you do it? And you said, no, that's too cruel. If you'd like to take 15 seconds to kind of clear up that gap, like, does that make the implication that killing a baby isn't
I
cruel?
answered the question.
You didn't.
Okay. Is this a debate about Christian nationalism, or is this like a weird new atheist? By the way, why do you think killing is wrong? Where do you get that information from?
So first of all, I don't think that killing's inherently wrong. I think that murder is wrong. Okay. The unjust.
Okay. So you agree with me then?
Right. And then what I'd say here about murder is that's just going to be driven given my intuitions. I'm a subjectivist. We all know this, but I think you are too. Would you agree with me?
You're subjectivist.
Would you agree with me that objectivism can be defined as like a stance independent, like truth?
It's an independent truth. What did you?
This dude is a straight whack job. I'm sorry, Dean Withers, but you are a whack job.
Say, I didn't hear you.
Like a stance independent truth.
He's a troll. I think he's literally a troll. I think Dean Withers is a troll.
That's what it means for
a stance independent truth.
Yeah.
Of independent truth, or that
all of his information goes against common sense. Goes against complete common sense.
There is independent truth.
Okay. Wow.
So the sentence construction doesn't make sense.
Okay, so in philosophy, right? When we're referencing terms such as moral objectivism or moral subjectivism, we define objectivism given when I say murder is wrong, that is
he's absolutely a dumb as a stump. Absolutely.
It's true, independent of any stance, of any actor, of any mind. Okay, when I say
I understand what you're saying. I don't understand the construction. I'm not. You're like mumbling to yourself. Yeah,
no,
I believe. Yeah, subjectivism is that there's an independent truth. Yes.
Okay, so is morality independent of God?
No, because God is morality. God is good.
So a morality is subject to God.
Okay. Ooh, could God create a box so heavy he couldn't lift it? Yeah, that's great. So if you believe that
would
killing
be a
is not,
contradiction. I didn't give you a contradiction. I just showed you that you're a moral subjectivist.
I know. Thank you.
He's been total brainwashed by leftist
So where do you
propaganda.
believe that killing is wrong then? Now, so you believe it's subjective. You don't believe it's absolutely wrong.
10 minutes.
Yeah, right.
Oh, what's that? Oh, what's that, Aiden?
10 minutes, guys.
Great. Yeah. So I mean, I could kind of give you a little bit of an overview of my stance here on morality. So metaethically, I'm just gonna be a subjectivist, a relativist. When we like to reference why I think things are wrong, it's just gonna be driven my intuitions. I mean, we could talk about different moral frameworks. I myself am what is called a threshold deontologist, meaning that I believe that particular things can be always wrong, but meanwhile we should consider the consequences of others. It's pretty interesting.
Is the Holocaust wrong?
Yeah, the Holocaust was wrong.
Objectively?
No, because objective truths in the context of morality doesn't exist. Nothing's
in your opinion is wrong
because that standard doesn't exist.
In your opinion, it's wrong.
In accordance with my index standard, it's wrong. Yeah, but I mean, just saying, you believe in subjectivism, but I'm gonna counter that by asking you, is it objectively wrong? That doesn't really achieve anything. I could literally.
What is your qualification?
Was the Holocaust objectively wrong?
Of course, it was wrong. Of course,
but you just agreed with me that morality is subject to God.
Because morality is God. It's identity, not subjectivity.
Wait, God is identical to morality?
Yes, God is good. God is the good.
Okay, so when I say that hugging your mom is good, I'm just saying that hugging your mom is God?
Yes.
Okay, so can you just say that for me? Every single time you kiss your wife, that's a really God thing to do?
Love is good. An act of love that expresses love is good. God is the good. God is being itself. We are participating in being.
Oh, wait, now we have some more issues. Earlier you told me that God would never command you to rape a baby because that's evil, but now you're
left and right back and forth debate between a propaganda believing lunatic and a common sense having Christian or Catholic. Yeah, he's actually a Catholic.
Saying that God is identical to goodness, meaning if God is all powerful in the sense that he could do anything that's logically possible and he's identical to goodness, why wouldn't he be able to tell you to rape a baby?
Did you say grape?
I did. TikTok words. I know.
God also tells us that God's plan is very complex.
Why won't you answer my question?
Because these are just like low IQ.
No, that's not a low IQ point at all. We're
it
literally
is.
talking
It
about
is
what you think goodness
completely
is,
a
what
low
its
IQ
derivative, and how it would apply to your God. Actually, we could extrapolate this out to the problem of evil as a whole, right? Like you actually said earlier that you think that the Holocaust is objectively wrong. Would you say all
If it
things
happened, if it happened at all, by the way. But yeah,
Okay,
if let's
so
theoretically,
Aiden.
if it, in theory.
Hey,
No, I'm kidding.
what I
Of
mean?
course it happened. Of course it happened.
Wait, do you see what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
dude,
Like,
Nick,
no,
what
like,
the
do you see who
fuck,
we're
bro?
talking to, Aiden? Yeah, this guy's over here saying,
Oh my
if the
gosh.
Holocaust happened,
my
but then he asked
gosh.
me if the Holocaust is objectively wrong. Get a load of this joker. So I just want to ask you a fucking quick
Get a load
question.
of this joker.
Oh yeah, get a load of
How
this
about
joker. I wanna
another
ask-
joke?
how
What do you
about another-
get?
You need to unmute your mic.
Get a load of this.
You want to
Okay.
tell me another joke? Keep talking. I'm gonna go ahead and ask you a
No,
question. Would you
that's very
say
good.
all things considered that the Holocaust is wrong?
If it were real, yes. Yeah.
Oh my
and
God,
it is, and it is, and it absolutely
you're
is.
so fucking spineless. How the fuck can you sit in front of 45,000 people and say that the most
Oy
well-documented thing that has ever
Is
happened
it?
in history might not have happened? I want to ask you a question. How the fuck do you know that Jesus resurrected from the dead, but you don't know if the Holocaust happened?
Shroud
Please
of
answer that
Turin.
question.
Shroud of Turin. Shroud of
Shroud
Turin.
of Turin, that's been taken by
100%.
the Shroud of Turin is a more reliable standard for evidence than the 250
Than the
independent
thing that
sources
didn't
that would
happen?
justify that the Holocaust exists.
Listen, this isn't a Holocaust
Wait,
debate.
also
Let's
the
try to
Shroud of
stay
Turin-
focused.
No,
This is
I
a
wanna-
Christianity
you-
debate.
No, let's talk about it. The Shroud of Turin specifically, we had 4 different group of scientists take different
I'm
parts of it.
convinced
None
it's
of them
millions
could
a
date
lot.
it back to anything after
I-
400 years AD.
I'm just
How
saying it's
can
a
you
lot of people.
No. I want you to tell me how the fuck you know that Jesus rose from the dead with a lack of any historical evidence that exists from
Hey, calm
during his
down.
lifetime from a first
And he
person
gets all
Calm
experience.
down.
excited.
Yet
This is
you
a
don't think
factual
the
debate.
Holocaust happened.
Theatrics.
This is a factual debate, Kamala.
uses
Tampon
theatrics
Tim.
Yeah,
the
go
most
through the
emotions
emotions
Tampon
to
Tim.
know that
This
you're
is
losing
about
the argument.
facts.
There's no logic.
1, Shroud of Turin.
It has absolutely no logic to it. Like, it lacks all common sense. It's completely insanity.
Impossible to create other than with Jesus ascending into heaven. That's 1. 2, all I'm saying is,
Right, Joe.
that's a lot of bodies. Unless
Wait,
we forgot the technology to cremate them. Look,
Father
I don't know. I
Friday,
wasn't there, and you
Wait,
weren't
the
either.
Shroud of Turin. Wait. So you're telling me that it was absolutely impossible for some
Impossible.
impossible for the Shroud of Turin to exist? Then please tell me
you don't
why.
know the facts.
Then please tell
You
me
don't know
why
the facts.
Tell me why the earliest carbon dating on the Shroud of Turin that we've gotten from the material used to create the Shroud of Turin is like from 1200 AD.
That's not true. That's not even true.
It's either 400
You
or
can fact check
1200
that.
AD.
That's not even true. They just did a new study on it, and they proved it's 100% real.
They proved it's 100% real.
It's
So please-
100%. It's like super real. That's 1.
Okay. Okay.
2,
okay.
we have secular historians that testified that
Secular
Jesus was a real person and was
Yeah, we do.
crucified.
We do.
Josephus, Tacitus. We also
Wait,
have.
Josephus isn't secular. Let's get our facts straight. He was a Jewish
Okay, he was
historian.
Jewish. Okay, he was Jewish. I mean, non-Christian. Thank you for the clarification. Are we good?
Secular mean non-Christian?
Are we good? You know what I meant. I mean, if you were to say that a Christian source is biased, then arguably a non-Christian source would be unbiased. That's the point. Josephus, Tacitus. But you also have the earliest versions of the gospel stories going back to the 1st century. The earliest fragments of it go back to the 1st century. And you have people that went to their death. That's part of why Christianity spread. They went to their death. The Christians were martyred, testifying that they saw a resurrected Jesus. Liars don't go to their death, testifying that something happened if it didn't. Certainly not. 11 out of 12 of them, or every single one of them. And that is the basis of how it spread in the ancient world. So, I mean,
there's
that. There's the Shroud of Turin. There's non-Christian historians. There's the fragments of the gospel.
Yeah, so
there's
Shroud
the
of-
prophecies that are fulfilled by Jesus in the New
So
Testament.
the Shroud of Turin, that shit just goes straight out the fucking window. We've carbon dated it. Not a piece of it dates back to when Jesus was alive in accordance
Not
with
true.
Josephus and Tacitus.
And the silence of freedom of speech is complete garbage. We can judge our own country and our own government, but we can't judge the IDF and the APAC. Why not?
She reported. Then give
Carbon
me a
dating
source.
is flawed.
Oh, okay.
Carbon dating
so-
is flawed.
that America
And,
has
there's-
it.
and that's not
It's
true.
earlier than it is, but we just don't
And
know
that's
it.
not true. Well, one, it's not real
gotta
because carbon dating says that like dinosaurs.
Then
are
how do
real.
we know that it was from
And
Jesus?
two, there was
If we can't
recent
date it back
study
to him, How do
done.
we know it's from
Two,
Jesus?
there was a recent study that was done that showed that it literally would not even be possible using the technology at the time to create a forgery. So it had to have been created by something with luminosity that just didn't exist back then for it to imprint throughout the entire shroud. They didn't have that kind of technology back then.
Wait, I have a question.
It's impossible to create it any other way.
Do you mind if I ask you a question here? Okay, so I like this argument. Let's just go ahead and say that you're right. It was impossible to create without some sort of divinity. Jesus Christ is a prophet of the Islamic religion. Can you please give me any reason to believe that Christianity is true more so than Islam being true?
That's just a stupid question
This luminosity
because
could be granted either Islam being true
do you
or
know what
Christianity being
Muslims
true.
Let me ask you this question. Do you know what Muslims believe about Jesus Christ and the crucifixion? Can you tell me?
Prophet of God. He didn't actually die on the cross. Someone else stepped in his shoes.
So what was the Shroud of Turin? Do you know?
Oh, it was over him in the burial.
So how would we know Islam isn't true? Well, let's see. If he wasn't actually crucified, then how would they lay the shroud over his body and his soul leave to make the imprint? So you don't even know what you're talking about.
I mean, no, you don't know what you're talking about. Because given the Islamic
to work
religion,
it out on the fly, doesn't even know the order of how could the Muslim Jesus leave the Shroud of Turin imprint if he was never crucified and then therefore
because what did they say about the person that was crucified?
Hello?
What did they say about the person that was crucified? Who did he look like? Who did he present as?
But he wasn't Jesus, so he wouldn't have ascended into heaven and left the luminosity. It would be he was a lookalike.
Oh, that's terrible.
You could say that, but you don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, wait, I don't know.
Normal people, they said it was a body double, someone who looked like Jesus. Normal people don't leave a luminous imprint on the shroud they put on them at the point of death. So the lookalike wouldn't have done that.
Wait, I'm just curious. Could you give me the study?
I don't know the name of it off the top of my head, but it was recently completed.
Sure, I would love to.
You should investigate it. You'd probably become a Christian if you're being objective.
Hey guys, let's do Hey, real quick, let's do a 2-minute closing statement. We're gonna start with you, Nick. We're gonna get on to the next topic. Go ahead.
Sure. So, I mean, the good news is we just had a platform to demonstrate the historicity of the resurrection of Jesus. You do have real archaeological evidence like the Shroud of Turin. You have the Gospels. You have the secular historians. No serious historian would testify that Jesus wasn't real or didn't live or wasn't crucified. And if Christianity thread throughout the Roman Empire, it's because of the well-documented martyrdom of the disciples of the early church. If you would go to your death testifying that something, a lie or a fabrication didn't happen, then maybe you believe they all faked it. I think that you go to your death only if you saw something true. And even still, people won't tell the truth if they're afraid of the mafia. You would only go to your death telling the truth if it was God in the flesh. So I think that's just all obvious. With all that being said, we should have a Catholic government. We all have a conscience. The moral law comes from God. It's also written on our hearts, and we know it. And that's where our intuition comes from. The subjective idea that we get from rationality or empiricism that murder is wrong.
Well, it is Dean Withers, Nick Fuentes. Yeah, just go Google it. It'll pop up. Dean Withers debates Nick Fuentes or vice versa. It'll pop up in Google.
That rape is wrong. The same object.
Obviously, it was, again, hosted by Aiden Ross and his friend on kick.com for Aiden Ross. If y'all like this, go check out his channel as well. I'm going to give the plug, obviously, to Dean Withers and Nick Fuentes as well. Go check out their content. I don't own the right to this video, so please give them a shout out. I don't really do the whole disclaimer part.
Gnostics and atheists raised against the Bible. And the thing is about the Old Testament, if people are turned off by that, it really just amounts to the problem of evil itself. Evil exists in the world that was created by a good God. This is answered by the philosophical concept of the privation of evil. Prior to the coming of Jesus Christ, it was a world without the good, and therefore it was evil, and thus there was no mercy, compassion, those sorts of things. But it's a very complicated topic. I hope people aren't turned off when they hear, bad things happen in the ancient world, therefore there can be no God. It's obviously false. So that's just the long and short of the whole Christian debate distilled.
Yeah, sure. So I'll go to give my closing statement.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
First, about the Shroud of Turin, anyone watching, feel free to look up any of the multiple groups of scientists that have dated the Shroud of Turin. Not a single one of them have been able to place a date on the Shroud of Turin from a point when Jesus was alive. So that's automatically thrown out of the window. About Nick's second point there, specifically about the people that went to their deaths after seeing the quote-unquote resurrected Jesus. This is something we see in all religions. I want you to go ahead and look up Prophet Muhammad's grandson in the context of the Islamic religion. He was martyred because of his beliefs in his grandfather being a prophet of God. That's present always. If this makes a religion true, all religions would be true. About your third point about the historicity of Jesus Christ, we have no first-hand accounts about Jesus Christ or his life. I do think that he was a real man that lived and died via a crucifixion, but Josephus, Tacitus, all these people came long after he died, and I think it's crazy that you're going to sit here and say that we have sufficient historical evidence to justify that Jesus Christ died and resurrected from the dead, but we don't have historical evidence to justify that the Holocaust happened and 6 million Jewish people died. I can give you a source right now that 6 million people did die. In fact, I could give you 200. For everyone watching, look up holocaustcontroversies.blogspot.com. It will give you an index to publish evidence on mass extermination in Auschwitz in Germany. There will be over 200 sources there, much more abundant evidence than what he could ever give for the existence of Jesus Christ and the idea that he's our God. So already contradictory there. And about the last point about the problem of evil, you said that the privation of evil was the fact.
Who owns this website that doesn't show everything but only shows one side of things? Like, obviously there's a fucking underlying message from that channel if that's all they show, and they don't show you everything.
Fact that there wasn't a lot of good before Jesus came. No, the privation of evil is an ontological status of evil. Okay, so you don't know what your philosophical terms mean. You're also confusing what the problem of evil is. Okay, right? I would say my problem of evil would be the fact
20 seconds,
God's
Dean.
all good, God's all perfect, and God's all powerful, and nothing evil should exist in the world that we live in. I wish that we could have a longer discussion about this, man. Get into philosophy, show you that you don't know shit. But I guess we're gonna move on to the next topic.
Thank you, guys. All right, we're gonna do topic number 3. Is
homosexuality bad? And we'll start with Dean again. I'll give you a 3-minute intro.
All right. So this is where we ended, or we started earlier in the video. So I'm not going to continue into this video anymore. So we've already covered this section of the video. I will start a new section of the video. I might do it on Saturday and finish the rest of this as a series. Do a second part to this video and actually finish from like 126 on, which is right about here. And that's where we ended off when we've actually first come across the video. Shout out Carnage for bringing the video up. There's your credit. All right. I'm going to drop it down. I'm going to end the stream here now, guys. Hopefully y'all like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. And I'm Roll Ross. We out. Peace.